speaks incantation. I tell you about that, Tom?
Performs satanic ritual.
I tell you about that, Tom? The subtitles on HBO Max for Young Justice are borked.
Oh, really?
So whenever there's gunshots and shit like that, you'll see pew 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 on the screen. The one I find most hilarious is that do you know who Zatanna is?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know how her magic works?
No.
Okay, so her magic works by saying what she wants to happen in reverse.
Oh, right, okay.
And for the first 2 episodes that she's in, the subtitles actually show what she's saying, and her dad's the same way too.
Okay.
So whenever they're on screen, they do that. But at a certain point, it just turns into speaks incantation. Now, there's I think it's the last episode where there's like a global threat and like a cyborg, or not cyborg, Jesus, same voice actor, Aqualad and Robin are sending out like basically an all fucking points bulletin to the entire world. And so it automatically translates their message to China in Chinese. But guess what the subtitle says? Oh, and Russian. There's like a section of Russian too.
Does it just say speaking Chinese or something?
No, it says speaking incantation. And I'm like, that's fucking offensive.
Like, does it say the same thing for Russian?
Yeah, because he does that thing. Because like, remember from the Man of Steel movie where Zod's giving the message to everybody? It's the same thing, except for like when it cuts to the parts where it's like showing in Russia. It just says speaking incantation.
Basically, literally, anytime you have like a foreign language, it just was like, I don't know, some mysterious gobbledygook or something.
I was gonna say
ancient language.
Weren't we making that joke when we were watching The Mummy with Asa? I mean,
because I brought it up.
Yeah, you brought it up, and then I went like, Egypt isn't real.
Because I brought it up because of that fucking bullshit. It's like, oh yeah, speaks incantation.
And with that, we've been live for a good minute.
Fair enough. So what's up, gamers? Needs McTherapy here, and today we decided to cover one of my favorite movies, Nation's Pride. It's a movie directed by Joseph Goebbels. It's a little weird to kind of put this in like the middle of a Tarantino arc, but I felt like we kind of had to discuss some of the plot holes. Like, how the fuck can you kill 300 people in one fucking sitting?
Well, it came down to about 250 after the math. The last 50 routed and thus became legend.
And he said he had 1,000 rounds of ammo in his bird's nest. So.
Yeah, a tiny little wooden structure.
With a Car 98.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. And like, Hitler says that like this is Goebbels' greatest film. I don't know if I would 100% agree with Hitler on this particular thing.
I mean, his film takes have been a little weird lately.
Just a little strange.
Yeah.
We're speaking about fucking Young Justice. I was also watching Justice League, and Hitler is totally in the original Justice League cartoon.
I don't remember that.
He's like frozen because Vandal Savage just takes over the Third Reich or whatever. And like he's frozen in spot, and so like when Vandal Savage just gets taken care of, like the Nazi guys are like, oh, what are we gonna do? We need a leader. And it like slowly pans over to the fucking frozen coffin, and then the episode ends.
And then it's just like, Hitler.
We need Hitler. So it's fucking made me giggle. Well, and it's like good on them for being based enough to show fucking Hitler for a children's cartoon.
Well, let's not forget how in the middle of the Justice League cartoon, somebody was talking to Green Lantern and it's like, you're doing a great job for one of your kind or something.
Yeah,
it's like
specifically
John Stewart. Like the original old school Flash from like the 60s or something.
Jay
Garrick.
Yeah, he's like, you're denying the fellow name because like you're a credit to your people. Son. It's like, oh my god.
And then he just goes, thanks.
Thanks.
That show is fucking fantastic. I haven't gotten to Justice League of America yet, but the original 2 seasons hold up really well. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about what we're actually talking about today is, like I said, one of my favorite movies of all time, Inglorious Bastards. It is his 5th, 6th movie?
Okay, so we got We got Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, Jackie Brown, and Kill Bill. If we're keeping that one film.
Yeah, we're technically keeping the other one. So what is this? 5th, 6th? Or am I bad at math? I'm bad at math. I've had a long day.
This would be 6th if we're counting Kill Bill as 2 movies, and if we're possibly counting Death Proof.
Gotcha.
Math. So how does it work?
Anyway, the main point is that I feel like this is potentially his best movie.
Yeah, there was a lot of time while we were watching this film just absolutely gushing.
Yeah, because every single fucking scene is fantastic. Even like I said, there is one goofy scene with the 2 Italian filmmakers, but even that scene is like weirdly fitting for the tone of like what the movie is going for, and even in their minds, they know what they're trying to do, and obviously what they're trying to do is very important. But yeah, having said that, Tom, what did you think of the movie? Wait, quick. So, give a quick recommendation. Would you recommend this movie? Yes or no?
Of course.
There you go. Slur?
I would fucking restrain people and put this movie in front of them. Holy shit. Yes, people need to see this movie. It's damn near fucking perfect.
Incredibly based. And Wyatt?
Yeah, I really am harsh on the idea of the 10 out of 10 movie. This is as close as it's ever gonna fucking get.
Mm-hmm. Well, it does have its issues. Let's chill. I wouldn't say it's a 10 out of 10. Even though I love this movie, subjectively I'd rate it a 10 out of 10, just because giving us the goddamn gem of Christopher Waltz. But there are a couple things that are a little weird, and we can discuss whether or not those are really that big or important. But before we get to that, let's just get to the best things. What's your favorite scene? There's a lot to pick from, but go ahead and give us your best. Start with Tom.
Oh, I really, I really can't. It is definitely one of the scenes down with Hans Landa for sure. It's definitely one. That's the thing.
I don't think any of our answers to this question are not going to have Hans Landa. Holy shit!
That's real. Mine doesn't have him in it.
Well, there you go.
Okay.
There you go. Balanced.
All right, to start us off, the bear juice scene, just everything, from being explained to a few of the other bastard members, the conversation with the captain.
Introduction to Hugo Stiglitz. Well, I guess like that scene would technically start with them introducing the bastards themselves, because remember, it cuts from that to I don't know exactly how much later, but definitely some
very
time
little
passed.
amount of time.
I wouldn't say little, because remember, these are like it's confirmed that this has been happening a lot.
That's true. That's true. But they definitely hit the ground running. The second they got there, they started fucking people.
But think about it. But think about it realistically. It would make sense for like all the shit that they've done in a small amount of time. Because remember, they've already fucking freed Hugo Stiglitz.
Right.
So that means they've had to herd of Hugo Stiglitz, find out where he is, and go get him after already doing shit. Because Hugo Stiglitz knows who the bastards are. So basically, there's been a good amount of time that's been passed. That's my whole point.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of evidence to say so. And then, of course, we get the very iconic scene of 99999. I don't know why.
I've heard that sound clip fucking often.
A lot.
I for some reason I think it was in the advertising. 9999. Oh yes.
Even though that's not in the movie. Some fucking Thanos shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So it goes to that because he's describing it because he's like they've always managed to escape our grasp as if they're apparitions. I think is what he says. But yeah, no. They're discussing that, and then it goes into the scene with the bastards as being told by is it Corporal Butts?
I think he was a private, wasn't he?
Private Boots? Who the fuck is Private Boots? Oh, thank you. Please send him up immediately. Thank you for reminding me.
who and what is a Private Boots?
I love how I was just like, oh yeah. It's like, oh man, that's nice that Hitler said thank you. And Slur.
Well, that's the thing is fucking the goddamn what's the word? Fly in the lotion, elephant in the room. The Hitler was, liked by his people. That was a thing, despite, everything that happened.
Mm-hmm.
So it is kind of
For
interesting.
many of them, it was because of everything that happened, which is
that's yeah. But so it's kind of like, I wouldn't say nice is the word. It's objective to show him like somewhat respectful to his peers.
Mm-hmm. Even to the bit where he tries to hide, like, you were ambushed and you were the only one who survived.
Well, no, that would just destroy morale.
Right.
And that's not what they want to know. That's just a commander thing. But I would say, what's the fucking other movie called? It's the fucking title's eluding me.
I've always forgotten the name. I know what you're talking about. The
other guys, the other meme Hitler scene.
Oh, Downfall.
Where he throws the pen.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, I've lost the train of thought what I was even gonna say. But yeah, anyway, the reveal of the bear Jew is pretty great, and really like there's a lot of things with I always forget how to say his name. In Reno or in I always want to say Ezio.
Encino. He's the Encino man.
Who?
Who's the composer?
Oh, Ennio Morricone.
Ennio. Yeah.
Margheriti.
Margheriti.
Gorlami.
Gorlami.
See, grazie. Anyway, the music being played in the scene and stuff like that, even with like Hugo Stiglitz, like little fucking segue with Samuel Jackson making his first of 2 spots in the movie as a narrator.
I love how the second we're introduced to Stiglitz, it just shows him and then bang, it happens twice. Just hearing this rock introduction for him.
Yeah, I forget Hugo Stiglitz thing. I don't think there's a single member of the German army who hasn't heard of Hugo Stiglitz.
I made the joke when the scene was playing. It's like, this is how I recruited Tom for this arc. We heard you like Tarantino. How would you like to watch Tarantino movies with us? Tom just nods.
Slowly nods.
Do we hear the liquid in your mug head just slosh around?
Just sips tea and nods.
I don't like I said, I don't know why. I imagine just Dio, but like with Cuphead for his actual skull.
I thought you were gonna say Dio, but British.
So Dio,
Dio.
Yeah, Dio.
Yeah, in his expressively British voice. Goodbye, Georgia.
Yeah, that scene's great. Personal favorite is the opening scene, of course.
Of course.
Like I said, going back to the score, that fucking opening song and like everything, which we kind of brought up, doesn't exactly sound like the beginning of a movie song.
Yeah, I brought up how it feels like they're coming towards the farm, and that guy's just gonna pick up the axe and fight them all or something.
Mm-hmm. He's even like got like hero shots of him, like, you know what I mean? He looks like he's about to do something crazy.
Yeah, he's all covered in sweat, and then he starts wiping it away.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, all right, time to go to work.
Well, that of course it could easily be just the intense stress and fear that they're going to discover the Jews in the under his floorboards.
Yeah, if you pay attention to what he says to his daughter when she's like going inside, he's like, "Don't run." Like it's like as if to like don't make it obvious.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But Hans already knew.
Hans Landa.
What was your favorite scene, Slur?
I mean, it has an advantage because it's the shock of Cold War as you're thrown into the tone of the movie and just how serious and tense it is. And it really kind of, because of how intensely it opens the movie, you remember it a lot. But I do think that the opening scene is not just the strongest in the movie, but one of the strongest scenes, period. It is intensely fucking good.
Mm-hmm.
Like we talked about the diner scene in Reservoir Dogs.
Right.
about how like almost every detail in it was done so that we would know who these people are. It's like I said that is a scene that you would actually have to go out and watch if you're someone who studies movies, and this if you study acting or dialogue, because the whole scene is fucking perfect.
Yeah, if you want to study how to like create and film tension, like,
or yeah, just the flow of a conversation as it gradually gets more and more tense. The way one person reveals a little bit of something, but not much, and keeping it ambiguous.
He's being so charming and almost aloof, like, so it's almost seems like he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about.
Yeah, but everything is an act. He knows everything. Like he's in full control in every situation. Hans. Like when he suggests to speak English, when he says, "Oh, my French is not so good," but he speaks it perfectly.
He's speaking it perfectly.
Yeah, his French is fine. He just knew that
they don't speak
the
English.
Dreyfuses don't speak English.
Mm-hmm.
And like so good.
And like I don't know if this, like I said, I don't know if this was a touch, but like he's like, "Hey, pour him some wine." He goes, "I don't want wine. I want milk." I always thought that it's like I don't want to be distracted. I don't want to be any kind of slurred about what I'm about to do. Like
it's very much with Taguro and his orange juice.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you have this insane badass, and he's deliberately going to avoid alcohol because he wants to remain focused.
And like a tight glass of orange juice with ice.
And another great subtle thing, which I don't know if you guys noticed, but in the two scenes when he talks in the opening scene, when he talks to Lapadite and
Monsieur Lapadite
and Shoshana, like he it's probably like a like you said, he's very charming. Like it's a way to kind of maybe lower their guard. He like basically copies like their kind of tendencies. Like with Lapadite, he smokes a pipe. And there's something he just never does ever. He just does it because Lapadite does it. And then when he's talking with Shoshana, he's smoking a cigarette.
Mm-hmm. Can we talk
with her?
Yeah, actually, shit, that's a good.
Can we talk about that pipe though? He's like, we got this farmer with this like Cornish.
It's a very
pipe.
German pipe.
It's a fucking pipe, all right.
Yeah, I was going to say,
as people had back in the day.
It's not a pipe, that's a cigarette.
But like you said, like even that, it's like, oh, man, I smoke my pipe? Like, you know what I mean? And then he pulls out this magnificent looking pipe. It's like, he's just everything about it, he commands the fucking scene. Even his fucking pipe is more powerful than Monsieur Le Petit. He's French as fuck.
Yeah,
he gives a soft wee.
I forgot about the pipe to the point I was like, I looked at my own pipe. I was like, huh. I forgot he just has his own. Because it's just this super bougie Sherlock Holmes style pipe.
Well, it's funny you say Sherlock Holmes because he's a fucking detective.
Right.
Damn detective.
In terms of absolute master of tension, I don't know what scores higher, the beginning or the bar.
I don't know. The bar scene is really fucking tense. Like there's no doubt about it.
Especially
number one
once
being
he gave himself
that they're fighting in a basement.
A fucking basement.
Like I said, going back to what that one Nazi officer said about Hugo Stiglitz. Not everybody in the German army knows Hugo Stiglitz, which kind of brings up a little bit of a weird point. It's like, I get that he's the only German guy we got, but like, if he's the most famous, it wouldn't really be good to have him in clandestine operations. And that is kind of what happens. It does kind of bite him in the ass because Homeboy recognizes Hugo, and you could tell by the way he fucks with him because he knows Hugo Stiglitz hates SS officers.
Yeah, and he specifically, when he basically he slaps his
fucking
chest.
Smashes his fucking hand on his shoulder to get him to move out of the chair, and like, you know what I mean? He's just constantly giving him shit-eating grin.
Even in the middle of like a line of dialogue, as he bursts into fake laughter, he like slaps the guy's chest.
Yeah, He's like, "Who's next?" and smacks fucking Hugo in the chest. It's like, oh man.
And I love how
just being
when
overly familiar and friendly and hands-on is like,
and when the firefight breaks out, Stiglitz just fucking stabs the shit out of him.
He
like,
stabs him. Oh, it's like he's so pissed off. So there's a firefight going on. He specifically goes to fucking stab this man.
He shoots him in the balls multiple times, gets
And
him over
then-
the table, and then just
stabs
fucking
him in the neck.
stabs. In the skull. It is directly into the back of
Oh
the
yeah,
skull.
yeah. Oh yeah, it's more skull.
you know,
yeah.
the first time I saw that scene, it's like when he shoots him in the balls. I don't know why. I just in my head is like automatically, oh yeah, it's like 2 bullets, 1 for each ball. You gotta aim at some balls, dude.
Fair enough.
No, there's a reason. I love that quote.
He did say "Savita say to you."
Yeah, say
Yeah,
I
we
mean
have sent
to
your
say.
Nazi balls.
And yeah, the fucking delivery at this range. I'm a real Frederick Zola. Just the way he like growls out that giggle.
Everything about this movie.
Everything about the movie is fucking fantastic. Like just flat out. Like it's just there's a lot of really fun stuff. But like I said, to my point of kind of a negative, like I said, it is strange that they use Hugo Stiglitz despite everybody knowing who he is.
That is odd.
Remember the thing that actually caught them out? Because Hugo Stiglitz, he doesn't look that distinctive other than being a big motherfucker. And you saw from the SS.
Oh no, motherfucker! He looks
there's a lot of big motherfuckers.
He looks just like fucking Wolfenstein Guy. What the fuck's his name?
BJ Blazkowicz.
He looks just like BJ Blazkowicz. It's kind of crazy.
Now you mention it, he does a little bit.
He does look exactly like him. It's kind of crazy.
That would be perfect casting.
I'm literally playing New Order. I'm just like, yeah, that's
him.
That's BJ.
Hot dog. No. So, that's one of my favorite things. Hot dog? Yeah, I don't know.
That moment where you get into like a stabbing contest with a random German soldier. There's that meme of I didn't realize this wasn't a cutscene. Just getting stabbed for a good second.
And as much as I love the Bear Steining reveal scene, it is kind of stupid that she said mountain climbing when you could literally said anything fucking else. I tripped last night. I could have done anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you could have said that you just had too much to drink.
Yeah, injured it on filming on set.
Exactly, mountain climbing. Bear Steining?
Especially after he goes like, what mountain in Paris?
What mountain in Paris? And you just see it on her face. She's like, oh fuck.
It's like, oh shit.
Don't worry about it. Nazi. It's all good.
And then proceeds to strangle the fucking shit out of her.
Well, no,
like
he then
10
proceeds
minutes
to
later.
proceeds to fuck with the bastards that he are the bastards because he knows
that's why
every single one of them.
That's why I said like a few minutes later.
Mm-hmm.
One more time, Gorlami.
Just love it's like our allies from such a beautiful and amazing cultural touchstone or some shit like that. But he says all that in like rapid fire Italian and perfect Italian, and it's like all of them are like, oh no.
Grazie.
Germans don't have a good ear for Italian.
Correctamundo.
The only German who speaks Italian is the one they run into.
But this German does.
He speaks perfect English, perfect French, and perfect Italian.
Well, no, he's at the limit of his what he can speak is French. Remember, he can't speak that good French. But yeah, no, fuck, I had it, but I don't know.
You did bring up in terms of another tension scene, the restaurant scene. If the Jew hunter knew, I always forget the theater owner's name.
Shoshana.
Shoshana.
There is actually something else that I really think the movie could benefit from because it feels like it's actually in there and it feels like we're missing a scene. And that is any kind of cat and mouse between Aldo and Hans Landa. Because the way they talk to each other in that final scene, it makes it seem like they're rivals. But we don't get any sort of thing for that except for the very end of the movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Did I just baffle you in my greatness? Is everybody all right? But you see what I'm saying? It's like the way like they talk about it, and it's like, oh, the way he interrogated people, shit like that. It's like, oh, that's because he's been like on the trail trying to find them. And like, yeah, he specifically goes, "I've been waiting so long to finally touch you," and then
I made you flinch.
He
and then
would have
proceeds
been
to
in
headbutt him.
charge of hunting them down, would he not?
Yeah, but we don't see that. You could
Fair.
infer it, but like the way they talk is like as if they're longtime rivals.
Well,
Because remember, they're
he
also
talks like that. Landa talks like that. I don't know that Aldo does.
well, no, Aldo also knows that he's the Jew, or he's the Jew hunter. Like
Yeah, so
Aldo
he
is
knows
very
who he is, and he knows that he fucking
Yeah,
hates
it's just
him.
more
Only
like you just
Landa acts like, "Oh, you motherfucker! I've known about you for so long. I've been looking for you for so long. This is kind of a big fucking deal." Only Landa feels that way,
I don't know the
and he's
way.
the only one that would feel that way.
Honestly, I don't know the way
Aldo doesn't
Aldo.
give a shit.
Well, no, Aldo, but that's what I'm saying. Aldo has familiarity with him. That's the one.
well,
I'm
he
trying to say.
knows who he is, but
Yeah,
like
but
that
it's not the
their
same.
mission wasn't to target Hans.
Yeah, and you're making it sound like they were both acting the way that Landa was acting, but they weren't.
Yeah, not really.
Only Landa was, because he actually has been looking for this motherfucker.
And he knows all the bastards' names, and yeah, just like made it. That was Hans's mission. Hans's mission was to obviously help track down Jews and to track down and like take prisoner or kill the bastards.
Quote, enemies of the state.
Mm-hmm.
You're shouting in the States. You're shouting under your floorboards. We're going to. I want you to follow my masquerade. Is that clear? Like I said, that scene is really good.
And just switches.
And it's funny because they had 3 daughters and he had 3 officers. So he's like even he planned for that because remember he's when he calls in the soldiers, he's specifically saying,
"Yes,
come in,
ladies,
ladies, come in," and it's like that's how I actually think they probably talk to each other on camp, like when they're not actually deployed. Like Jesus Christ, like in the middle of a mission, calling them ladies.
I mean,
hey,
that's
ladies.
kind of,
I guess that's an interesting interpretation.
I mean, that is something that more became like an American thing of like, come on, ladies. It's just the other, like the Marine Corps or something.
I just, you think of it as kind of like movie speak.
Right. So, and then another thing too is, was Hans? Why did Hans let Shoshana leave in the first place? So the very end of the scene,
he killed the nest, so this is like one running into the wilderness, not that big a deal.
But they could also, but his whole thing is to kind of kill Jews. I guess in a way, because he did kind of hate the fact that he was hunting Jews. He was just really good at doing it. As they reveal at the end. So I guess that kind of sets it up a little bit, but it does feel a little strange that he's letting one go.
And there's also like that sense of like perverse sportsmanship.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was going to just bring up the possibility that she wasn't in range.
Well, they have
she wasn't in range, but he could have like rounded up the ladies and then got into his car and drove after.
They had a Jeep.
Yeah, that's true. Well, yes.
And the point of the shot of him like deliberately, like the way he looks, and it's clearly communicating he's letting her go.
Yeah.
He's choosing not to hunt her down.
It's a really good subversion because if he just dumped his fucking magazine, he could probably have killed her. But
I don't know, she's
really far away. But like
I mean,
I said, he could have
with a Walter, you'd have to be like
with a Walther P38.
You'd have to be a real Frederick Zoller to hit her.
Ha!
No, but still, you're fucking firing. He could have gotten that, and the fucking gunshot could have fucking brought over the other guys who had fucking.
Sure, there's a chance, but against like Slur said, it's like that perverse, like kind of sportsmanship and like like the thrill of the chase. Like,
and he specifically says, "What does au revoir mean? It doesn't mean goodbye, does it?"
Yes, it does. It's au revoir is
au revoir.
No, sure, it doesn't translate directly. I think it means something else.
I mean, it's basically
actually means like until I see you again.
Yeah, I was about to say
foreshadowing.
That's what I'm saying, like because that's what that meant is until I see you again, and then he goes because I don't want to see you again. Goodbye. So I'm saying if he's saying goodbye to Shoshana, that kind of goes against what like playful. What's the word you were saying? Playful sportsmanship.
Perverse sense of sportsmanship.
Perverse sense of sportsmanship. There you go.
Yeah, and I'm sure he's confident.
Au revoir has the same thing. Till seeing again.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure Hans is confident in his skills as a detective that he could just track her down again at some point. Anyway.
I mean, and to an extent, he kind of did.
And he did.
He didn't exactly like discover her. He just happened to be at the right place at the right time.
Yeah, it was just more like
stumbled across her in a fucking restaurant.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, basically.
What?
And yeah, and then there's that scene of them in the restaurant.
Which is great.
She is horrified that the man who just killed her entire family is literally right there, touching her, touching her hand.
And when he's gone, she has a fucking panic attack.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And
it's
he-
like a brush with fucking death.
He absolutely knows that it's her.
Yeah.
Well, like
it's a little bit debatable, and they do leave it like deliciously ambiguous. But
I think
it's a little debatable. It's a little debatable until the very last scene where he's like, "There is something else I wanted to talk to you about," and just gives her the death stare, and she is starting to lose it. Like somebody as smart as fucking Hans would have noticed her fucking body reaction to that.
Yeah, well, I think for me, I think it's kind of clear, cut and dry when he orders her a glass of milk.
Yeah, the milk thing was thinking.
I was just like, yeah, he absolutely knows.
It's good shit. So good. Then it's like weird that he fucking like lets her go, because I guess. See, that's the thing, is it's setting up that he actually doesn't fucking want to be part of the Nazis anymore.
Well, she can't run now. She's involved with the cinema, so he's not worried.
I was about to say they can get rid of the Jew and then fucking still have the cinema.
I suppose.
They were trying to get rid of the black guy.
But the thing is, there is one fucking set of people that they wanted more than fucking black people.
Right.
But yeah. So like I said, I feel like because of everything he knew leading up to Operation Kino, I felt like he kind of felt like the change in the winds, and that's kind of why he just let her go, as opposed to having her arrested and just continue the evening.
Yeah,
because obviously, he wanted the operation to go ahead.
Because if I remember correctly, with how Hitler said with the Americans at the beaches, Normandy fucking happened. So that means...
Or was going to happen. It's around that time.
Yeah.
Right. So...
And
yeah,
the
tide is being turned.
Yeah, it's 4 years after the occupation of France. So I'm not exactly good on my timelines, but they specifically say it's well after Germany's been in France. Because I think it was 4 years. I might be wrong, but that's what they say the next time we see Shoshana. Shoshana? How you say her name? I always felt weird.
Yes.
Because it's a made up fucking language.
You have to say it with a French accent.
Shoshana.
Shoshana Dreyfus.
Shoshana.
I had to stop my fucking cigar for a second. The way you just said that's a fictional language, it's just like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
French people aren't real.
French people aren't real. It's fucking fake language.
We baguette.
Anyway. Yeah, no, fuck, I feel like there's something else. I'm just kind of blanking on it. Oh, the disappearing bastard. Like I said, it feels like we're missing some scenes, is all. Because there was definitely one other bastard who was in the not the bar, but in the hideout next to the bar. There was definitely one other guy, and he was there in the veterinarian office.
Let me take a screenshot of the lineup in the very, like, when all the bastards are being...
Yeah, we're definitely missing a couple from that opening lineup. And I'm perfectly fine with going, okay, fucking war's hell, so we lost them, unfortunately. But what happened between... Yeah, but, like, what happened between the veterinarian and Operation Kino that bastard just was vaporized?
That, or it's just flat out of season 8, they kind of forgot.
I don't know. There's a lot of fucking shit in here that would be weird if we kind of forgot. That's why I'm saying it feels like we're missing a scene. Or two. And as I stated, I would fucking love more of this movie. So more deleted scenes, please, for the love of God, given to me.
I'm trying to get a more up close shot because
no, you just need a shot of him literally going fighting in the basement, like literally right next to him as a fucking guy.
Oh no, Oh no, the screenshot I was going for was this one. Let me pull it up.
You're looking for when he's like first approaching him.
This one, which has just all of them in almost all of them in one shot.
Except for Hugo Stiglitz.
Yeah,
because that was after.
There's quite a few of these guys that don't really get that much screen time, so I think this flat out would have just been I kind of forgot.
Maybe.
Yeah, I guess we just have to leave up to inference that they died during the time.
Yeah, but like I said,
when the
there's
mission started.
so one of them died during the mission.
I don't know. That's what I
That's
mean.
what-
I
that-
guess.
no, but that's what I'm trying to say is that the one that was in the fucking scene before the fucking theater, he was there, and then he's not there because it's only Udovitz who gets
Yeah.
captured. I guess he got killed by the fucking Nazis when they were getting him, but like it's like I said, it's not there.
Yeah.
Also the fucking Donnie and Omar going on a rampage and completely forgetting they have dynamite strapped to their fucking legs.
Yeah, about that.
That's weird.
Wait, did they forget? I thought
Well-
them blowing up was part of the plan.
Yeah, the fact that
To
it was
get
like
in,
around
make
the
sure you
ankles.
put bullets in Hitler, and then you just unleash carnage until you blow up.
I guess.
No,
It just seems like
no, I'm sorry.
Remember how
no.
Lambda describes the things? Like, yes, you may kill some Germans, you may, but you will not get Hitler, you will not get thing, you will not get the. And yeah, you do not end the war with all four. So the plan was to just go in fucking Hazard style.
I guess.
I mean, you guess that's literally what it
Well,
was.
yeah, that's literally what it was, but it just feels like I guess it's a subjective thing, but it just feels weird that it's literally a suicide fucking run. Like there's no like chance of like trying
They
to fucking
found out Hitler himself was going to be at the thing. If you're going to make a suicide run, it's like this is not the mission you hold something back from.
Fair enough.
But they got him in like the first second. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, they could have
And
literally
they're
just
not going
thrown.
to get out of there, are they?
Yeah, well, they could have
They
thrown.
just
No, they
shot
could've-
Hitler.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. They could have thrown the fucking. They could have thrown the dynamite into the crowd and then ran out.
Yeah, because their door was not blocked, and the
Mm-hmm.
other doors to the outside, they could have gotten out actually.
Yeah, and they just started. But I could chalk it up to bloodlust because we
Yeah,
don't really see we don't really see Omar's reaction, but we definitely see the Bear Jew's reaction to all of it. And the Bear Jew, being a Jew, seeing a bunch of Nazis that he gets to kill, I can understand him going a little crazy.
So I found that screen, the thing we're talking about, Max. This guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
this
guy.
guy this guy just fucking disappeared.
He just dies. I guess he got eaten. They fed him to the dogs.
I think yeah, it's just the season 8. They forgot about him.
I forgot about him. Which, like I said, there's a lot of really good shit in this movie, and I really wouldn't want to chalk it up to that because without giving them the infinite benefit of the doubt, I would say that there's a missing scene. That's it. I wouldn't say they forgot. They might have cut down this 2.5 hour movie.
Yes.
I think 2.5
Not
hours.
unlikely.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, other than that, can any of you guys think of anything other issues that you can possibly bring up?
Honestly, no. And I was kind of keeping a closer eye on things, just just in case. But like, there really isn't anything. Like, the one big thing you could fault the movie for is historical inaccuracy, and that's about it. And given that it's like pure speculative historical fiction, it's like that's a non-criticism. Like it really amounts to nothing.
Yeah, like Superman doesn't exist. We can still enjoy Justice League.
Right. What were the credentials for the British spy?
He was an officer, and he was before the war. He wrote several books about film, specifically German films.
He's a
That's
film
why
critic.
That's why they
Okay.
approached him, is because he was familiar with German films.
All right, I could. Yeah, then never mind. I could totally believe he would make the fuck up with the 3 fingers. Then.
Oh well, that's the thing. If he's familiar with German culture and German film, he's familiar with German films, but like in essence, that would make you familiar with German culture. So it'd be strange that he gave away the 3 thing.
It would make you familiar enough with German culture that when he was called out on his weird accent, he was actually able to place it to a sort of region that it would sort of sound close enough that he might be able to cover his ass. He's that familiar. But when you do like little automatic, subtle cultural things that you don't even know look weird until you move somewhere else, that's the shit that's really fucking hard to.
And I would also
keep in
say,
mind.
that Homie was straight just fucking with him the entire time. And remember, like before the final part of that, he literally starts smacking him in the face. He's like, I'm just playing, but like, and like, you know what I mean? And I made a emphasis because he kept saying there's 33-year-old whiskeys. He kept saying 33. He's trying to do something with threes. And he knew that what's her face didn't finish her bubbly. So, and he didn't want to have whiskey, so there was only 3 officers there.
Right.
I feel like he was setting that up to do that.
I'm just curious. I think I asked during the movie, but I'll ask again. How do you guys do 3? Do you guys just do your index, middle, and ring, or do you use your thumb? Because I use my thumb.
I don't think I either use like the 4-3 or I use like the back 3, like baby finger, ring finger, middle finger.
Yeah, I have a hard.
Because
I
it's
have.
actually just more efficient to use
I
my thumb to hold
alternate.
the
I don't. I
finger
have.
down.
I
Go ahead, Tom.
sometimes do both.
I have a really hard time doing the German 3. So
At the same time, that's just holding your hand out.
what?
No.
I was like, wait, what? I was like, oh shit.
I do both at different points.
He asked Tom for 3 glass. He says 3 glasses, and he just holds up.
Hold up my hand.
Yeah,
Just like,
no,
3
no,
glasses.
No, he just does the salute.
Right up.
Thai glazer. And just hold up all my fingers.
No, Tom.
Right, so.
No, Tom just does the salute. He's just like 3 glasses. He'll hit that.
Thai glazer. Just click my heels.
And to be fair, it wouldn't have blown your cover. They just thought you would have been fucking
Yeah, I'm just like super enthusiastic about the Reich.
Because remember, they all are.
Yeah.
I hit that.
If I did that, they'd just been like, man, he really wants 3 glasses. He really loves the Reich. God damn.
Just in terms of like that phrase being used like extremely casually. It's like you guys were mentioning one movie. I was always talking about fucking Conspiracy.
What?
Which I don't know if you guys have seen.
I've
no.
not seen Conspiracy. I've seen Jojo Rabbit.
No, I haven't seen either, unfortunately.
I don't know what that is.
All right, Conspiracy is actually a pretty fucking heavy, serious film where you have the leaders of the Third Reich. They all get together because they're trying to come up with a final solution to the problem they're having logistically with what to do with all these Jews that they don't want in their country anymore. You know,
Right.
how do we export them? How do we get the trains to get them out? It's like blah, 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 blah. And the entire discussion is just watching this room of political leaders, military leaders, logistics people, all eventually talking themselves into the fucking Holocaust. It is horrifying and fascinating. But every single person who walks into a room says Heil Hitler, and everybody in that room says Heil Hitler right back, and it is really funny.
Yeah, I wonder if that was actually a real thing then.
No, it
Because-
absolutely was.
Oh, it absolutely, yeah, of course.
You make it seem
But that
like
was like
it's
degrading. Oh,
Yeah.
what's up, slur? Hi Hitler. Oh, hi Hitler.
Yeah,
Yeah, that is
literally
how
say
it-
that. In the same way
that's
that
how
it's just a linguistic thing.
Oh, okay. Well then, fuck no.
Like during the Third Reich, especially because like you have to like every facet of your language was used to convey it's like, hi, yes, I'm part of the us group, not the them group, thank you very much. But then even just like in language, in Irish, the way you say hello is dialect, which is like God be with you or God bless you or something like that.
Okay,
Like this shit just gets in there. Language is weird.
fair enough.
language is weird, and I was about to be like, oh, it sounds like it sounds like a German version of like 12 Angry Men, but instead of trying to find the court case, they're making the Holocaust happen.
Sure.
It's like in 12 Angry Men, it's like people trying to figure out a situation, whereas like these are the people in power, so it's the people making decisions and arguing with one another as to like what they can and cannot do, and then along comes the guy in the big black trench coat, and we've been having all these problems. We've been going back and forth, and we've all been stressing ourselves silly over what to do. I have a couple ideas.
Well, the reason I made the comparison was because they both sound like films of just very high stress. They're all in one single room throughout the entire movie. That's what you made it sound like. That's
That's actually quite accurate. Most of the entire movie takes place in like a boardroom and like a little few get to know people scenes in other things.
Fair enough.
I know we're off on like a bit of a tangent because I just ended up talking about this fucking movie, but I do actually think we should watch it someday because goddamn, it's really fucking good.
Yeah, I've heard of it. I've never actually watched it though. But yeah, getting back to this one, I guess we'll get to it. Final thoughts. Objective and subject rating. Go ahead, take it, Slayer.
Subjective 10, easy. Holy fucking shit! This movie is as close to perfect as I think anything can get. It lives, breathes, and dies on those extremely tense interpersonal scenes, which I suppose can be a bit of a gimmick if it's used to excess, but considering how few movies are able to do those scenes that good, it fucking earns the right to flaunt them.
Fair enough.
So
Yeah,
I would
and
actually hold it up as a plus rather than a minus.
yeah, and
Fair.
considering the time period, I think it's warranted.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's so unbelievably fucking good.
Yes. All right, Tom, go ahead, take it.
Yeah, well, I think we're all in agreement that subjectively it's just a 10. There's just so much to love about this, like with
That's fair.
characters and isolated scenes. Like the opening scene on its own is just like if that's all you saw of it, I'm sure you'd be pleased.
Yeah, that tells a complete story almost. Like,
Yeah.
just that, like that scene could be a movie in
That's a
itself.
short film, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And objectively, I mean,
I can't really
I mean,
think
on
of a
it,
single significant flaw. Not really.
I mean, we've gone through a couple
Yeah,
that
like,
don't
It
aren't
could be
minor
like
things
breaking.
that,
Yeah,
like,
they're not
yeah,
like
like yeah, I
are
was about to
each a
say.
little bit iffy and all together maybe add up to something, but like,
I
Yeah,
mean,
I
I
was about to
guess
say.
I guess they could be nitpicks.
I was gonna say, even me who brought all of them up, it's like I said, I love this movie, but like I can notice that. But even I admit that's like they're kind of
No.
small.
Oh yeah, no, I noticed the missing bastard like near the end,
Mm-hmm.
but I was just like, But
I
yeah, I'm honestly, I guess like a 9, objectively, honestly.
a 9 or a 10, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's honestly it's creeping to a 10.
Yeah, I would actually say
It's like another
this.
Reservoir Dogs.
I know how this always pisses everybody off, but I would give it a 9.5 just because like I don't feel 100% fair on giving something objectively a
See-
10 out of 10.
Yeah,
But like,
this is-
god
I feel
damn
the
it,
same.
you
but
guys,
god damn it, it gets so fucking
Well,
close. Like
it is
My
so
thing
close.
is this: if I'm not going to give a 10 to this, then therefore nothing is a 10, and as a point of the scale, it becomes redundant.
that's fair.
Yeah,
Well,
but I think I'm the same as
Same
Max. Like,
argument I made for Hot Fuzz.
yeah,
You know
I think
what? You know
Like,
what?
it's as
Fair.
much a 10 as anything can realistically be.
You know what? Fair fucking enough. I'll accept that logic. I'll give it a 10 then. It's like, oh no, he just twisted my arm into fucking perfectly rating my favorite movie.
Oh no.
It's like,
I was.
oh, no.
This is yeah. That's why I was like, yeah, I was right. It's a 10. And I hate.
Well, I mean,
giving out 10s.
it always
I
was a 10 for me, but I was kind of the same as Max. I'm always like a bit like, even though I love it, and it's literally one of my favorites movies of all time, let alone Tarantino movies. So it's like, do I feel right giving any movie a 10? And I guess like I shouldn't feel bad because it is really good. So
it's very good, yeah. So it's like, yeah, fair enough.
I mean, fun fact, the first time I saw it, I didn't actually rate it that highly of the Tarantino movies just because the historical inaccuracy bugged me.
Oh, really?
Really?
It actually took me a minute to let that go, and when I saw the movie for a second time, I was like, yeah, no, fuck that.
yeah,
You know,
you
This is
remembered who
historically
directed it.
inaccurate, this is not how things went down, but good goddamn history would be more interesting if it is.
You know,
When
I can kind of see that being like an issue for anybody.
I was 13 when I first saw this, so me being a super fucking normie when it came to that sort of film stuff, I was just like, I only remembered the end, like turning Hitler into mincemeat. But as growing older, I have gained a lot of appreciation for this, and just watching it like today, I fell back in love with it.
Yeah, I pretty much adored this since the first time I saw it. So
Correct me if I'm wrong. Is this actually Christopher Waltz's first movie in America?
it is.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
like, this is like, even if this was only a fucking 6 out of 10, it deserves that extra 4 points because it gave us Christopher Waltz, and
Yeah,
that I'm
won him the Oscar.
Wait, are you saying
fucking
are you saying Christopher?
Christopher Waltz, yeah.
Christoph.
Christoph. My bad. I automatically put it in my head. But
Chris.
Still.
Chris Waltz.
Chris.
But no, but he's a fucking phenomenal actor, like in everything he does and everything he touches. He's just fucking so charming and awesome.
Including Alita Battle Angel?
Yeah.
Including Alita Battle Angel. He is actually a really good character in that movie.
Yeah, he's a really good character in that movie.
And this is actually my second movie I saw with him in it. Unfortunately, I watched the movies out of order. But yeah, no, like this cements it, like it's just him being fucking fantastic.
That's why I was surprised to not see him in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and in Hateful Eight, because I thought I thought he cemented his place as he shows up in every Tarantino movie from there on.
He might have an issue with some of the violence, as we've talked about behind the scenes shit.
Oh yeah, to anyone who doesn't know, when the actress is getting fucking strangled, that's Tarantino.
Is that like, hang on, but is that real? For real? Like, because I've heard
Yeah.
that, but I've never actually seen anything like about it.
No, Tarantino said it himself.
Fuck,
Christoph Waltz did not feel comfortable strangling a bitch, so
yeah.
So
'cause it's just-
Tarantino
it's
went
just-
like,
Because
Yeah,
he flirted.
Tarantino's like,
Quentin was
"Say
behind the
less."
camera, like, all right, now's my chance.
he was
He's
probably
flirting with-
drunk. He was probably
flirted with a
drunk
virtual
off of,
YouTuber. He's not that bad.
he was probably drunk off charttruse, so he was just
Oh
like,
my
all right,
God,
this
hell
is how
yeah.
you do it.
Oh yeah, this wasn't long after Death Proof. He probably was.
Yeah. Or what's her name? Fucking forgot her. Like Bridget Van
actress?
Hammer's actress.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
she's fucking
Diane-
beautiful. So
Diane
it's
Kruger.
kinda-
Yeah.
it always kind of bothers me. It's like, oh wait, that's real. It's like, oh man, that's why I'm kind of like, is it real? Kind of like in the back of my mind, it's like I don't really like the
Well,
idea.
no,
of
he
her
wasn't
tits.
like actually strangling her. He was acting
No.
strangling her.
No, he was.
No,
Apparently,
he
he
actually
was actually
strangled a bitch.
strangling
No,
her.
there was an interview. No, I know this. I know my history.
well, like there's a whole.
So
fucking...
he was
It's one
on.
of the first things you learn in theater class.
So he talked about it on the Graham Norton show when he was on, and he said like there was a stunt guy literally just off camera next to him, like as a safety precaution, obviously, because he was actually like he like Tarantino wanted it like real, like he wanted like a fucking visceral like choking the life out of her,
I
and like
know, but like
damn.
it bothers me so
No,
much because
yeah,
if
I
you
know.
pay attention to that scene, like there's a part where he's like banging her head against the fucking ground
Yeah,
because he's
I
so
know.
yeah, into it. It's like,
I know.
oh boy, that's real.
yeah,
it's
no,
like
no.
you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah,
it's
it
like, oh,
is.
that's not real, you know, because it's a fucking movie. But it's like, oh
Yeah.
no.
We
Yeah.
do a
Yeah,
YARP
just-
recreation of it. Tom, you're standing over me as I'm just trying to strangle Max, but I'm just rattling
Oh my God.
like his spine.
But the thing is, as I'm turning blue, I'm like, Arthur.
Ugh, I just immediately let go. Ugh.
Wait, what?
What?
What? Nothing. Continue. Okay.
We're filming here. Come on.
Slurs
Be
Brad-
professional, goddammit.
Come on,
Slurs
alright,
Brad
reset
Pitt.
and
So
action.
slurs Brad Pitt when he's caught. When he's you fat. It's come on, Slur. You know what to do.
What?
What the fuck are you talking about?
When Brad Pitt gets
What are you
captured.
talking about?
I was prompting Slur to do like some super Irish rant thing. You know the scene when Brad Pitt
What?
gets captured, you fascist fucks, like the
Okay. That's
whatever.
bit of a non sequitur there, but sure, whatever.
It was a continuation of the recreation joke, whatever.
Yeah, okay. All right.
It fell flat. Moving on.
A little bit. Sandbag. Anyway, but yeah, fucking hell, if you haven't seen the movie, fucking go watch it. It's like I would legit put it on the short list of fucking like amazing movies.
It's a
Like
really good film.
must see before death kind of deal.
I really like the scene with Churchill.
Oh, yeah, Churchill has 6 lines.
Churchill.
Churchill. How's he doing?
Mr. Churchill.
Churchill.
Seems
Well,
we've got
we-
all our rotten eggs in one basket.
Cool.
Down with Hitler.
Operation Kino.
They
Blow
sound
up the
like Wallace and
basket.
Gromit characters.
Fuck, that's it. Oh my god, that's totally fucking it.
Yeah.
That feels really weird considering Slur, you and I like months ago rewatched Wallace and Gromit.
There you go.
Oh my
Wait,
god.
did we?
Yeah, we did. We watched the Moon is Made of Cheese. Like we were.
Oh,
we
yeah.
Did
just-
you watch Curse of the Were-Rabbit?
I recently rewatched that to grab
These
some
aren't
clips.
real films. Y'all just
Yeah,
making
no
shit up.
Curse of the Were Rabbit.
Shut
yeah.
up.
In
Including
fact,
Wednesday.
I recommend we watch them because they're pretty fucking weird.
I'm just
Cheese,
crackers
Gromit.
about cheese.
Even Wednesdale.
I did watch Chicken Run,
Wensleydale.
but that's all I got.
Wensleydale.
I fucking love the meme of Wallace as Palpatine.
Yes! Even Wensleydale. Everyone knows I'm the Sith.
What was the
Not
other movie?
yet.
They did Chicken Run. And they did another movie. Something Pirates.
Oh, yeah.
I remember the
yeah, the
Pirates.
Pirates one.
I
Band of
never actually
Misfits.
watched-
Band of
I never
Misfits.
watched
Or,
it, but I
pirate
really-
Yeah,
movie.
I only know the meme from that. Well,
Yeah,
yes,
I
but actually no.
kind of recommend it. It's
I just-
not
I remember
super
that-
special, but it is pretty nifty and
I-
There's
disarmingly
Shaun the
funny.
Sheep.
I just remember
There
from
is
the.
John McCabe.
I just remember the fucking from the trailer. It's like he like whips the fucking pirate ship around to the dock, and then there's a fucking reverse alert. Fucking
Yeah.
semi-truck.
Everything
Like,
about the
what?
way that movie does pirates and the way ships work is fucking wild. It's some
That's
Looney
hilarious.
Tunes nonsense. I love it.
I
That's
remember
good.
the name of that movie so well, mainly because before this was yet another response podcast, the name of the channel was Band of Misfits.
That's fair.
So anytime you tried looking for it, you immediately got the pirate movie.
You know, Charles Darwin is like a major character in that movie.
Yes, he is.
Really?
Yeah.
I
It's
might
fucking
have
weird.
seen the movie. I don't remember it, but I do remember Charles Darwin being a character. I don't know. It's weird.
I
I think
I
you
remember-
just
think you might
triggered
be
something.
thinking of reality.
Maybe.
I remember the
You know,
scene when
Do you remember
when...
Charles Darwin being a character?
But reality is like a fucking 6 out of 10 movie. Let's be fair.
I mean, it is often disappointing.
Very
It's
I
much
pretty
so.
remember,
average.
Oh, gee, God damn it!
It
Slice.
subverts my expectations in like the worst ways.
I remember the scene where the pirate's in the cage and they're just they're trying to blend in for like some science fair, and it's like, oh, Captain! Oh, we don't know him. Band of Misfits, Pirates, whatever. It's a great movie.
Fair enough.
It's an odd little thing, but I enjoy it.
It's an
All
older
right.
movie, so but it checks out.
With
It does.
that, we now, for the second reason, we're finally are going live. Well, we've been live for after like quite a break. We have a video to respond to, gentlemen.
Yay.
Hooray!
Do you guys-
Hooray.
Do you guys know a little channel called Wisecrack?
Heard of them?
I have heard of them.
More like
They
crack these
Refer to
nuts.
themselves as
Huh.
philosophers and talk about Rick and Morty because they have a very high IQ, to be fair.
They have a little video called Inglorious Bastards, What Tarantino Got Wrong. Wisecrack edition. Don't know why they put that last part there. It's their channel. Hey.
Well, you know, there are so many editions of the things
Oh,
that
this.
got
oh,
wrong
this-
with the best movie.
Sorry, this is the video. I was like, oh fuck,
So-
this was like some fucking cringy ad. It's like, oh
I
shit.
mean,
Like I was legit
Yeah.
pressing play because I was like, yeah, let me get through this ad and then I'll be in the watch party. It's like, oh,
so
never
is
mind.
everybody in the watch together?
I am.
I'm entering the watch together now.
I am.
I'm not looking forward to it, but I'm here.
So is this?
All right, I'm in.
I mean, we're gonna watch it, but is this gonna be like he got like historical? Is this gonna be like historical inaccuracy bullshit thing?
I hope not, but I
Um,
also don't.
I mean,
think
based
it
on
will
that
be.
title, that's what it screams to me at face value.
Right.
And
So
honestly, like,
I hope it isn't.
I'm half expecting him to be like, oh, he's glorifying Nazis.
Like, I hope we get entirely
No, I
different
don't think
bullshit
he's gonna.
arguments.
Yeah, I know, but you never fucking know. Even though we had
I
fucking
don't.
literally Hitler turn into mincemeat, you could never fucking tell if it's like, oh, they're glorifying Nazis.
But
Glorifying Nazis
there
by
are people
killing
who
Hitler.
wouldn't want this movie shown to people because it displays like literal swastikas.
Yeah.
Well, to the point. So that's
Well,
a
I'm
weird
pretty sure
relationship
in
with the
Germany that's a
swastika.
legal thing, but
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
there's
in Germany it absolutely is, just because
Yeah,
it's absolutely verboten.
in the new
It's not
Wolfenstein
allowed.
in the new
Verboten.
Wolfenstein game,
Verboten.
Hitler doesn't even have his mustache.
yeah, there you go.
Well, that's how the fuck do you know
Wait.
it's Hitler then?
Doesn't he? I thought
Other
he
than the
did.
mustache, he just looked like a fucking guy.
No, in the censored one, they changed. It's not the
Oh, in
swastika.
Germany.
Wait,
and
hold on.
also-
Did they censor his mustache by putting a little black bar over it?
No, he just doesn't.
A
it
little
looks
black
like he
bar that's the
shaved.
exact same size as the fucking mustache.
I would love that. That's how I would do it. That's how I do it
That's
because
so
I'm a shitlord.
That's so fucking stupid. Could you imagine? Could you imagine if
Oh.
like so you submit that to the fucking German censor guys and like, no, he dies. He looks good. This
Well,
wunderbar.
technically, you can't see his mustache.
You cannot technically see. Yeah,
I like
hot dog.
The bar doesn't stay completely with it, so sometimes the mustache does
You
like
like-
stick through.
Oh yeah, the
Like in-
tracking is like really
like-
bad.
Like in
It's like a
Jackass,
snake.
like in Jackass 3, when they
Or like a
hit the
VHS.
when they hit the ping pong ball with their dick, you can see their dick for like a split second.
Oh, I didn't pay attention that close, but I'll take your word for that.
You gotta get that frame by frame replay.
Like they did in fucking GTA 5, where you fucking see
Oh,
Trevor drop his
God.
pants. It's like, why did y'all have to bring attention to that? It's literally on the side of the screen. Like, we didn't need to know. I didn't need to know that. That was information I didn't have to know.
Or like Ballad of Gay Tony, when you talk to that senator, and we just see just full dick and balls.
Well, I was just saying that the Trevor thing was actually really subtle. But if you were looking at his dick when he squatted, you would have seen it.
Mm-hmm.
So, good on them for accuracy, I guess.
Let's do this, guys.
I guess.
So anyway.
What's up, Wisecrack? Jared again. If there's one thing people know about Quentin Tarantino outside his proclivity for foul language and violence, it's
you might want to check your thing.
I mean, I've got sound on everything else.
Let me rewind it a little bit, because I think he just went like, oh, he has a proclivity for swear words, and it's like, really? That's what you... Yeah, his movies have a lot of swear words.
He could just be being cheeky, you know, these fucking videos are. It's not actually a fucking point, so we don't need to fucking pause on it.
Right. It was more also to rewind so Slur could check out his sound. Are you ready, Slur?
Still checking. Hold on, because...
Can you open another tab and see if like it's fucking doing something else on that?
Slur's the one person that needs like closed captions for the video.
Well, I was gonna say the reason why we never use Watch Together is because unfortunately,
we all hate Watch Together. That's why for the longest time we had the boxes for our icons, because I was normally just showing the video.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a very reliable tool, but it is useful, and I think I might be. Yes, I am.
Okay. You got the very cringy fucking violins.
What's up, Wisecrack? Jared again. If there's one thing people know about
Did he just do the Vsauce thing?
Yes, he does.
He makes it ambiguous whether the Wisecrack is him or us.
What's Wisecrack? Jared
really
here.
Confusing reading.
The real Wisecrack was inside us.
What's up, gamers?
And as far as I know, Jared's the only one that works at Wisecrack. I've never seen anyone else.
Yeah, it's like he's like, oh, hey guys, yeah, the pizza's for all of us. Yeah, it's getting crazy in there. I gotta get back in. Nobody's there.
Aside his proclivity for foul language and violence, it's his profound love for cinema. This obsession with film is littered throughout his work, with entire movies that function as homages to spaghetti westerns, classic kung fu, and blaxploitation. And
whoa.
Yeah, well, he said something fucking stupid, as we fucking expected, but
didn't we talk about this during Jackie
Brown?
Wasn't
I was about to say, and isn't fucking... See, this is what I was worried about. It's talking about movies we haven't got a fucking chance to cover yet. That's why we fucking didn't want to do this. But he did fucking mention Django being a spaghetti western, but like having homages to a spaghetti western, but when in actuality...
That's not what he said. He said it is an homage, and that's the thing I take issue with. Because it does have homages in it.
Yeah,
but it in itself is
the whole film itself is not.
And it's also a mix of a bunch of other influences.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is, like I said, a bit disingenuous, and once again we come to the blaxploitation thing we did when we covered Jackie Brown. So that's a bit of a weird way to start it.
It's such a fucking sin to say that like Django's a spaghetti western or it is an homage to them. It's more that bear that in mind, because this is like the foundation. He's going to be building points on top of this.
It's laying the groundwork.
So wait, sorry, have you seen this video?
No, I have not.
Okay.
Ninja was the one who watched this for us.
Fair enough. All right, well, let's trek on.
And of course,
how long is the video, by the way?
15 minutes.
Lovely.
Film is set in 1960s Hollywood. Now, while these films may implicitly celebrate the medium that's so dear to his heart, it's in his Nazi-killing classic Inglorious Bastards that we see his most significant statement on the power of film. A statement that today may no longer ring true. So let's figure out why in this Wisecrack edition on Inglorious Bastards. And, of course, spoilers ahead. Alright guys, first...
Is that really necessary for a movie that's over a decade old?
I mean, like, it is something to say, because, like, once again, if you somehow haven't seen this movie, because you're a fucking Philistine.
It's one of his most famous movies.
I know, but you're a fucking Philistine who
not
only
just
likes...
that, but, like, if you haven't seen his movie, why would you watch this?
You
Or
know
if
what?
you
Fuck it,
put
you
this
must-
video on, how
Yeah.
are you not just assuming there's going to be spoilers because it's talking about a movie you haven't fucking seen?
Yeah.
Because idiots on the internet, there are people that will just watch this kind of stuff because Wisecrack made it, and
Well,
will
then
just
let them get fucking spoiled. Why are you,
right.
like,
Yeah.
they're
Bro, yeah.
nitpickers, they're idiots.
I don't care about spoilers in the slightest. Like,
Yeah,
hence
when
why
did this video come out?
this video came out. Hold on, I could pull. Let me pull this up on a different tab.
Turns out it came out in 2009.
Right.
Like right after it came out. Why did it immediately do that?
Nailing it.
Everything's falling apart. This came out in 2019.
Oh, okay, so wow. All right.
A whole decade.
Right.
I mean, people do cover movies from a while ago, so let's see what they got to say.
Mm-hmm.
A quick recap. Inglorious Bastards starts with the Jew hunter Hans Landa pursuing his victims in the French countryside. He's able to suss out the Dreyfus family, but one young woman, Shoshana, narrowly escapes.
Yes, we know. We've
Meanwhile,
seen
a
this
select
movie.
group of
I
American
wouldn't really
Jews
say it's
known as the
narrowly, I'd say she
Bastards,
just got
led
let
by
go.
Lieutenant Aldo Rain, are waging a guerrilla war in Nazi territory and collecting
Wisecrack.
as many
If
Nazi
you're spoiling
scalps
the movie,
as
we've already
possible.
seen it.
Each and every man under my command owes me 100 Nazi scalps.
The Bastards set off to infiltrate the premiere of Joseph Goebbels' newest piece of propaganda, Nation's Pride, a screening which will be attended by the entire Nazi high command. Also, this cinema happens to be run by none other than Shoshana, who plans to burn the place down on premiere night. Both plans
Okay.
more or less work out, and the leaders of the
So
Third
far, so
Reich
Yeah,
good.
are
we're all
butchered
being
in a
very
blatant
quiet right now because
Yeah,
he's
unfortunately,
He's just
yeah.
describing
Well,
the
he's not-
movie.
well, he's just describing the events, it's
Need
not-
to do.
Yeah,
It's-
unfortunately, yeah, we need to be fucking. We need to actually be pausing and saying shit because we don't want to fucking get any like copyright
Well,
strikes or bullshit.
yeah, I
from
was
it. So-
worried about this music for a split second.
Yeah, this
he-
music
when-
might be copyrighted, so it's like.
I'm checking the thing, and we're still good. And even
Yeah, I know, but,
even
like-
then, there's the classic. This is education and parody. Like, we're fine under fair use.
blaze of flames and a hail of bullets. It rules. While all this is happening, Landa captures Aldo and negotiates his defection.
We've seen
but
the
as soon as
movie.
Landa crosses into Allied territory, Rain kills his escort and leaves Landa a little something to remember
Landa.
goodbye.
I think this just might be my masterpiece.
Even in that
Masterpiece.
summary, the role of film is pretty clear. The climactic events of the story are centered around a film screening. But even before the screening, the Bastards
Right.
meet a German
Not just that,
actress.
it's also the accelerant.
Wait, what are you saying?
Yeah, hold on.
Summary, the role of film is pretty clear. The climactic events of the story are centered around a film screening. But even before the screening, the Bastards meet a German actress, Bridget von Hammersmark. People throughout the movie reference specific German films, like The White Hell of Piz Palou, and filmmakers like G.W. Pabst.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so he's just saying that the film
I'm pausing,
exists a
copyright.
lot in the movie.
Yeah,
That's
film
all
is-
so far.
The
film
theme,
is
yeah, the
film
theme
is in
of-
film.
yeah, the theme of film is prominent in this film
Yes.
because Quentin Tarantino, of course, loves film.
yeah, because Quentin
Yeah.
Tarantino is a film.
He is a film. He is a man of film.
See, people were like, "Oh, he wasn't in this movie." It's like, yeah, he was. Didn't you see that like
know-
giant pile of film and thing? That's him.
Well, I
That's
was going
him.
to say, you know that old AMC, like before the movie starts, it's that person made of film. That was Quentin Tarantino.
That's what I'm saying.
Yep.
He was the
Well,
fucking.
dirt roads are a very prominent theme in The Lord of the Rings. I mean, look, they're going through this forest, they're on like a dirt path, it's like they're going like to fucking Gondor, it's like they go
This-
through all this countryside, fucking dirt roads everywhere.
This
They're
car.
very important. But
this
here's
car
what
driving down that
Tolkien
dirt road.
got wrong about dirt roads.
Yeah. So it's kind of as predicted, but we'll see what else you guys say.
As scholar Susan Suleiman notes, even the title
Oh, immediately pulling fucking a scholar.
is an intentional misspelling of Enzo Castellari's 1978 film, The Inglorious Bastards.
I didn't
Tarantino,
know that was
quote,
a thing.
changed the spelling to acknowledge
Yeah.
both his debt and his difference to the film. But beyond including references to film, which is not exactly novel for Tarantino, Inglorious Bastards is meta-cinematic.
What the fuck
Meta?
does that mean?
What is it?
Meta
Oh, nice,
cinematic.
nice
It's a s-
buzzword.
There you go. Literally had even the fucking chime
Yeah,
too.
I was going to say you had the ding, which
Ding on screen in case you
Metal-
can't spell.
Metal Gear
Cinema
Rising.
dings.
Metal Gear Rising Revenge.
Alright, so let's
not a
just
real
have
word
a
in the
quick,
dictionary.
all right. I'm looking at meta cinematic right now.
Oh.
Meta cinematic.
I would.
Oh, I
bet
found a
money.
Wikipedia for meta cinema as a mode of filmmaking in which the film informs the audience that they are watching a work of fiction. Meta cinema often references its own production, working against narrative goods. It's fourth wall breaking. That's all it
Yes.
means.
So
Well,
it's
how
so
is
he,
it?
So he's already wrong. Okay.
Yeah, how is it meta that he references film?
Yeah, he literally doesn't. Like Monty Python and the Holy Grail is meta cinematic.
Very much
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
This
That's
is not.
yeah. When everyone gets arrested.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the cop investigating because he accidentally killed the fucking narrator. Yeah. and Deadpool is meta cinematic because he has to move the camera and he's talking directly to the audience. Like,
Yeah,
fucking
so
Inglorious-
the movie, the script of the movie deliberately informs the audience that they're watching a piece of fiction. It's a very, very blunt application of the term, I guess, but it
Yeah,
works.
I don't
Yeah.
see how referencing the fact that cinema and films exist in the real world is meta in Inglorious Bastards, the film.
It's not. It's just like
It's not. That's what I mean. It's like it's
That's what I'm saying. So I'm curious what he's got to say now because we've just established that he's fucking wrong. So
yeah.
His face looks like he can't even believe that he just said that.
Yeah, there should just be a
No.
question mark in that title. Meta cinematic? Maybe? Huh? What do you
Alright, well,
think?
let's see what he says. Let's see what he says about his fucking made up word.
In other words, it's a film about film. The whole plot
No.
ends up
Hey!
being framed.
What? That's not what
it's
that
not
is.
it's not
That's
about
literally not
film.
what meta cinematic means.
It's also not what
So
Inglorious
not
Bastards
only
is.
did you use a buzzword you absolutely didn't need to do because far simpler and more communicative language exists, you got it fucking wrong.
Yeah,
And it's
also,
not what Inglorious Bastards is about.
Yeah,
It's
Inglorious
really
Bastards has a
odd.
film in it, but it's mainly about the fucking World War II. This a little event they might have heard about. I don't know if this guy's written a book or fucking read a book in his life, but
You might have heard of one or two events from it.
but yeah, it was a pretty
must have-
fucking gnarly fucking moment back in history. So it's literally what the whole fucking movie is about. So
He must have heard about World War II with all of the fucking philosophers and scholars that he brings up.
well,
constantly.
you know how people fucking watch fucking YouTube videos in the background. He probably fucking edits the shit in the background himself. So fucking knows.
Why did he say that? Why did he say that's what it's about?
Yeah, it's so fucking stupid and so fucking wrong.
Okay.
Which is not exactly novel for Tarantino. Inglorious Bastards
I
is
really
meta
hate
cinematic.
I hate the
In other
10
words, it's a
second
film
rewind instead of
about
just, like
film.
5.
The whole plot ends up being framed not just around the nation's pride premiere, but the broader German culture of film.
Goebbels considers the films he's making to be the beginning of a new era.
So
in
no,
German
because this scene and then them talking about it in the fucking bar is literally the only mention of fucking German culture. So wrong again.
Yeah, it's literally an excuse to get the ball rolling so that we can have the excuse to fucking kill Goebbels, Hitler, I keep wanting to say Bowman.
Whatever, they kill the fucking Nazi high command. You don't have to go
And
there.
also,
Right.
the entirety of German culture isn't just a few films.
Yeah.
So that's kind of even that is like kind of
very disingenuous.
Yeah.
It's like yeah.
Not really.
Now, granted, there is a thing about Joseph Dr. Goebbels. Like that whole thing is actually real. He was actually trying to beat the Jews at their own thing. That's actually historically accurate.
Yeah.
But yeah, once again, it's not the center of the fucking movie. It just happens to be like what the movie is. The whole movie is about killing fucking Hitler.
Mm-hmm.
Or killing Nazis in general.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna do one thing and one thing only: killing Nazis.
Nazis.
And really, that's what you could say the whole movie's about. Because even Shoshana wants to kill all the fucking Germans on German night.
Yep.
an alternative to what he considers the Jewish German intellectual cinema of the 20s.
Careful with the fucking copyrights, because he's letting the scene play.
I know. I was giving it like another second or so. How you guys doing?
Doing all right.
Good.
Well, I was doing okay, and then we started watching this video.
Hey.
He hasn't like majorly.
He's
thrown
already
anything. It's
he's
always-
already fucked up two things. Like
Well,
the very fucking thesis of his
we haven't even got into what Tarantino got wrong yet.
Oh yes, I guess you're right.
Well, yeah, he's first establishing poorly that it's a film about film, which it
Which is
isn't.
wrong.
Yeah, but the
And,
thing
like,
is, if he's
even
wrong
just that
about
description, a film about films, like if you take some things, say back in the day, spaghetti westerns, they have such a clear-cut formula that I'm going to go out and I'm going to make a spaghetti western, and I'm going to make this spaghetti western in such a way that it fixes all the things that I think are wrong with the genre. then you could say that on top of just being its own story, which it fucking should be, it needs to stand up on its own, but it's also got this like extra meta thing where it just came at the right time, you know? It's like meta is a layer of a thing. Nobody makes movies for the meta.
No.
Well, some people do, like Ryan Johnson did, and
I was
Well,
going to
yeah.
it's
say,
absolutely
I was
fucking
about to say,
abysmal.
yeah.
But good movies generally are not made for the sake of the meta. Sometimes they're made for the sake of a political commentary on things happening in the real world, sure, but
Don't
it's
look up.
always like a layer on top of what was already happening in the story. So just saying it's a film about film is kind of wrong.
Categorically wrong.
I mean,
Yeah, it's
the
categorically
the producers is literally a stage play about making a stage play and making it
Yes.
as awful as they possibly could because it's a fucking scam.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that is like, it's on like the pure objective, what happens in the script. It is literally about stage plays, but also in the meta sense, it's about like the actual behind the scenes of what it actually takes to be a producer and get something on stage, and what will and won't make money actually has nothing to do with its actual quality. You can try and make the worst thing ever, but if it's sensational and it gets people talking, you will be successful. Just spite yourself.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's on both levels. It is a stage play about stage plays. That can be done. So he's not pulling bullshit from nowhere. He's just seriously misattributing it to this to make a point that I am already nervous about how it's not going to hold up if this is its foundation.
Yeah, I'm curious where this goes.
it's funny that you brought up the producers when, if you remember what the play was, a summer with Hitler.
Springtime for Hitler.
Yeah,
Springtime with
for
Hitler.
Hitler. Yes.
Unironically, it's a fucking great song.
It's a bop.
It's so good.
If you haven't seen the producers, not the reboot with Matthew Broderick, watch the original with Gene Wilder.
Yes.
I mean, honestly, just watch everything Gene Wilder ever did. The man was a fucking treasure.
There's no way everything Gene Wilder has always been a banger.
I mean, I'm sure in his very early days, he probably had a rough go of things as he's found his feet, but anything made after he got into movies, and it's like all this shit he did with Richard Pryor, anything he did with, but honestly, anything in general, I don't think there's a single role he's ever had that I've seen where I didn't think he was the fucking bomb.
Well, I mean, yeah, when
He
started
is like absurdly charming.
Well, when he started getting into the meta cinematics of it all, it did really boost his career.
That might be the only time that has ever happened.
I love that one film he made about film.
Yeah. Where in the film he looked at a film and was like, this is film.
This is so
Young
better.
Frankenstein is a film about films.
You know, like,
making people out of dead bodies.
When you find messages in Elden Ring where like the guy's pointing, that's the movie. It's just, could this be
Well,
film?
Elden Ring is a game about games, to be fair.
Yeah. Could this be game?
It's game.
This has got a high appraisal, so it must
What
be wrong.
Elden Ring gets wrong about games?
Yep.
Wisecrack edition.
Praise meta cinematics.
We was Elden Rings and shit.
Oh,
maybe the Elden Ring was the guys who had the rings that we killed all along. Anyway. Oh,
maybe the real cinema is the friends we made along the way.
Fair enough.
It's no mistake that Goebbels, the propaganda minister, is prominent throughout. Historically, the Nazi Party had several...
He's literally in 3 scenes. So
yeah, he's really not prominent at all.
He's in 3 scenes.
A side character. And he's used as a bit of a joke both times.
Yeah, I love the guy's performance. I've said it during a recording. That guy fucking killed it because he plays a very fucking like stuck up child almost. Which, to be fair, he's portraying one of the most evil men in fucking history.
We also see him fuck for no reason.
Yep.
Yeah, very briefly we watched Goebbels.
We just ass fuck some fucking French chick, which I guess that's fair.
While screeching like a fucking banshee.
He's thinking,
oh no, Goebbels is fucking
Lillian Harvey.
mediums for propaganda at their disposal, but they heavily exploited the power of cinema. Even today, propaganda films like Riefenstahl's Triumph of the Will are appreciated for their technical
Star
prowess,
Wars.
but condemned for their disturbing ability to deify Hitler. The Nazi propaganda machine created a lot of modern filmmaking, but also showed the danger of its
That's true.
powers in the wrong hands. With Inglorious
I
Bastards,
mean,
Tarantino
yeah.
That's true.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
Yeah.
that it's come up before, but when you think of Nazis, when you think of just literally what they were, what they looked like, all the aesthetics, and you think of like this incredibly efficient, ruthless, perfect military machine, that's because Triumph of the Will was just so amazingly fucking effective as a piece of propaganda that even though the Nazis are long gone and dead and the war was won and they lost, their propaganda is still basically the only way they're still remembered.
Mhm.
And it was made to make them look as good as possible. It's like,
Fun
that's how fucking potent it is.
Fun fact to bring it to our favorite topic of superheroes, this was also the introduction of Captain America's comics for American soldiers and shit like that. It was
Yeah.
basically it
Yeah.
was counterculture to like all the propaganda and shit like that through
Captain
Nazis.
America punching Hitler.
Well, to be
Like-
fair, everyone
like
punched
legit,
Hitler.
As I say, to legit though, that's where the comics started
Right.
was with World
Yeah,
War II.
yeah.
And like I said, well, not a lot of people know that because it's like, oh, it's just a setting in World War II, but no, that's actually historically there.
Yep.
In Captain America, when you see him going around basically just trying to uplift morale, in real life, that's basically just what the comic strips were doing.
Basically,
It's like
Yep.
just jarheads sitting in their bunk of a night and they just want to read like the funnies at the back of a newspaper because they're unwinding before they go to sleep. So yeah, they read a fucking Captain America strip.
Yeah, and they watch him punch the Red Skull or punch Hitler for the 15th time.
well, it was mainly Hitler back then, but yeah, they changed it to the Red Skull, so it's not like
Yeah,
banned
the
or-
Red Skull was considered not politically relevant enough.
I always thought it's weird how, with the MCU at least, Hitler doesn't seem to exist in World War II, especially, like, he's mentioned
Well, they
only
didn't. Well, dude, if they put Hitler in the movie, they would lose all that German money. Remember, this was a Disney movie.
True.
They just mention him.
Yeah, they just say the Fuhrer expects results from you.
He can't feed.
Isn't
his
there a
men.
Is
whole
it-
Daffy Duck thing where he did the Charlie Chaplin?
So, I know
What?
exactly what you're talking about. To explain, there is
What?
a Disney short where Daffy...
Oh, it's Donald Duck.
Donald, I'm a complete
Donald
idiot.
Daffy.
Donald, that's
Sacrilege.
Warner Brothers. Fuck me. Donald Duck is a German factory worker. As he's making artillery shells, he's doing the Sieg Heil every time.
He's doing like 5 a second.
That sounds
Yeah.
hilarious.
And
Heil Hitler, Heil Hitler.
I hit that.
Susan, please don't kill us.
We have said the words Heil Hitler rather a lot
Yes.
this episode.
Well, I mean, it only shows like our political beliefs. That's all.
Yeah,
Oh no.
that's fine.
I hit that.
But then the short
No.
then the short ends with the short ends with Donald waking up and he's just like, oh, nothing's better than America. Goes right back to sleep. It's like an American. I think there's an American flag behind him.
Base.
Like a.
Tarantino suggests that just as cinema
Base
built the
and
Nazis
burger
up,
pills.
so too can it tear them down. In making a film that relishes in the highly stylized murder of the Nazi regime, Tarantino wields the same power once wielded by Goebbels, except this time with the opposite message.
Not really.
Yeah, not really at all. Like fucking. Have you played literally any fucking video game ever?
Well,
Like,
not just that, but like
Nazis
the
are
power that Goebbels holds in his narrative is not the making of the movies. It's the forcing
the-
people to watch them. It's the being the minister of like what people are and are not allowed to see. That's his power. Quentin Tarantino does not have that power. Like he's a good director, like real good. But
you could say he probably has a cult following, but yeah, no, he's not fucking leading a goddamn nation.
Right.
yeah, he doesn't exert that kind of control, and that control is what gave Goebbels the power. There were a lot of German filmmakers.
Yeah.
There were a lot of pro-Nazi German filmmakers.
Mhm.
They weren't Goebbels. They weren't the minister of propaganda. They weren't able to decide what would and would not be the propaganda that depicted what the image of the Nazi Party was. So making that comparison between the two already is just another.
Yep.
This feels like you've taken the square peg and figured it would fit into the round hole if you could just get rid of those pesky corners and hope nobody noticed.
It's almost as if this video is shit, but
It's not off to a great start.
nope, not at all.
Bastards goes to great lengths to establish that in its universe, the camera is more powerful than the sword. Their contact.
They're literally fucking shooting Nazis at the end while a movie theater burns to the fucking ground.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Wait, I kind of zoned out for a second. What the fuck did he say?
He said the camera is mightier than the sword.
Like, hold on. Let's
okay.
have.
Well, I mean, in this regard, he's technically not incorrect because they do use film to kill a bunch of Nazis. So.
But
yeah.
But then bullets are powerful. Then I don't know. There's a bunch.
Yeah,
of
what he said was fucking stupid. It's fair.
Except this time with the opposite message. Bastards goes to great lengths to establish that in its universe, the camera is more powerful than the sword. Their contact in Germany is a British agent chosen for his cinema expertise.
Okay, but he's not a camera. Moving on.
He's not the camera, yeah. And
yeah,
also,
so like this is what I'm saying. Like what he's saying is fucking stupid. So let's just keep moving.
Well, it's not like just cinema expertise. It's like German cinema expertise. Maybe that's a nitpick, but you know.
Right.
2 books published. Impressive.
2, 3, 4. How you guys doing?
No.
Yeah, fine.
Thinking about Elden Ring, to be honest.
Same.
Thinking about playing some Elden Ring.
I think I need to keep grinding that. I'm grinding the gatekeeping thing right now, actually.
You're not having a good time, but I'm your cheerleader, Max. You can do it.
No, I'm having a way better time. Ninja, God rest his soul, he's not here with us anymore. But he did pop up in my game the other day. And just
to clarify, Ninja is not actually
he's
dead.
not.
Yeah, you made it sound like he was deader than dead. What?
Listen. I'm sorry. You live in the state of denial. But anyway, he popped up in my game and fucking Kamehameha, a boss I was having a lot of problem with. So, God bless him.
Nice.
It was actually like legit a Kamehameha. I couldn't fucking believe it. And like a boss that killed me like maybe 40 times, he just fucking one shot. That's like, oh, thanks. But now since he did that for me, I have a really powerful summon, and he's basically my stand, and we've been just running motherfuckers over for a while.
The first book was called Art of the Eyes. The
first book was called Dark Souls. It was a part of his first. The first book was called Demon Souls. It was
Dark Souls.
It was actually a reference to his favorite manga, quote Berserk. He had quite a few references, including the Dragon Slayer itself. What shall we drink to? Down with Konami? Oh, the way
with Konami.
You know what? I can get behind that.
You know what? I'm just saying, like, I'm trying to fucking fill it in while this motherfucker's just talking.
And the second one was called...
I could write a Quentin Tarantino movie about game developers. Stop pausing. Let it fucking go. You've seen the fucking movie.
Well, no, it's more to prevent copyright.
Yeah, no, that's why I'm fucking talking to keep it going.
Turns out he's not a great spy as he botches the mission, but that's the point.
He's actually a really good spy.
Yeah, pause. He is a good spy.
He damn near got away with it.
Yeah, he was literally seconds away from doing it. If he that's the thing. It's like he didn't raise his fingers for a 3. He just said 3 classes.
A very minor mistake that anybody could. And just because you're good at something doesn't mean you're going to be perfect at it. It's a very fucking tricky
An incredibly subtle cultural difference.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to... Oh,
yeah.
good.
No, sorry.
Yeah, what I was just trying to say is that, like, if he didn't pick up his fingers, they probably would have gotten away with it.
Yeah, if he just shouted 3 glasses.
Yeah, which is what they've been doing, so...
Right.
It's more important that he understands cinema than spycraft, because that's where the real battle...
No,
it's not.
Literally,
the point...
Literally, wasn't.
They did not hire him just because he knew about cinema. How can you
His
make that
lack
assertion?
of knowledge about cinema isn't what blew his cover.
Yeah.
If he would have only watched a few more movies, he would have been able to know that you should hold your hands up in a weird 3 sign.
If he
Do
saw...
you not like that most of his points seem to rely on you having not seen the movie in quite a while and not being able to immediately recall all these little
Unfortunately
what
for him,
says the movie is and what the movie actually is.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Tom
was saying, like, we We're quite informed.
Well, even if we hadn't just watched it, I've seen this movie so many times I can recall the events. And if he just like said, "Oh yeah, like Michael Fassbender's character, he wasn't really a good spy," and was like, "Hold your tongue." What?
He literally had an excuse for his accent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the excuse
Yeah,
for the accent
he
thing
was
is
played
speaking the
that off.
fucking language wrong and managed to cover it.
Yeah.
That was a fucking expert save.
And you
Yes.
could say like getting picked up on your accent is way more of a, oh, how could you have, like, that's a more of a fuck up than the Three Fingers thing, and he still like played it off
perfectly.
Yeah, like so charmingly. Oh well, you know, I'm from this mountain village. Like you wouldn't have heard of it.
If you
And
see
compared to the bastards
no,
who
you would have
who didn't even speak Italian.
I was gonna say you would have heard of it if you watched this movie.
Oh yeah, the movie Pitzpalu,
which is based on My Fucking Family. It's like,
yeah,
oh,
and they
and
were
I can attest that
extras.
I can attest that his brother is the handsome one.
Oh.
Oh, jolly good. Oh wait, the German.
Yeah.
Sauerkraut.
Sauerkraut bratwurst. All right, fuck it.
Haha, schnitzel.
Oh, Wiener Schnitzel.
Yeah. Yeah, I do take some umbrage with him saying he's not a good spy. So
Yep, it's
Yeah,
stupid.
that's
Who would have thought
borderline-
this guy's something fucking retarded?
literally works for the
Jared say
military.
something. Jared from Wisecrack say something absolutely stupid. Oh my god.
He's actually
No.
making me fuck up my combos in Elden Ring. Look at that. He's like Quantum TV.
Oh my
He's-
god.
Right.
Quantum TV.
Wait,
Bruh.
wait.
It's
Tom,
a
do you
very
not know?
topical reference.
No, I know.
Okay, you do. Okay.
I know the story.
Oh, it's fucking glorious. It's still
Fucking-
developing too. It's still going. That's the
Oh my
fucking crazy part.
Yeah,
my
I thought it
God.
was over and done after.
No!
the
Did you not? Did you not hear when he doxed fucking Ackman's mother?
Yes.
He
What
called.
the fuck?
He called Axeman's mom randomly, somehow found her number. And of course, you know, when somebody calls your mom, Ackman reacted very fucking angrily.
For very good reason.
Very good reason. 'Cause
Yeah,
what the fuck?
understandably, like Jesus Christ.
And so
I
yeah, Ackman said it's on site. If I see you, I'm gonna shoot you. So, I don't. That's not exactly what he said, but it's very similar. Like it's something about we shoot on site. I think is what he said.
He
Which-
threatened him basically.
Which is
Yeah.
very fair. If fucking Young Defiant called our one of our mothers, I'd be like, I see you.
Yeah.
I'm punching you in the nose.
No, it's not punching. You're going in the ground if you fuck with my mother. Chill.
Well, oh yeah. Chill as you immediately
Speaking of
escalated
which,
the
happy
situation.
Mother's Day, everybody joining us in. Tomorrow's a good day. Make sure to get your mom some chocolates and all that good stuff.
Woo.
Let's continue on with this
Yeah.
shitty video instead of talking about a
Fatten
different shit.
your mothers.
Fatten your mothers. Stupid fat mothers. I mean,
battle is being fought. This is a running theme in the movie. The Germans love to use cinema as a tool of propaganda, and that adoration of the medium leaves them vulnerable to penetration.
Everybody did. In fact, they used not just cinema, but radio shows, newspapers,
Comics?
cartoons were probably actually one of the most popular. Not like animated cartoons. I mean, like in newspapers, like
Yeah,
know,
like
the fucking
comics.
like Ben
Comics.
Garrison bullshit. That's like a weird Twitter thing now, but back in the day, it was actually like a genuinely big fucking deal.
Hmm.
just slightly.
So yeah, cinema was a big thing, especially because it was the new thing. All of the soldiers would want to go see the latest film when they came back. So
I
yeah, it
saw-
was a big thing, but you know,
Hi, Star Wars. I
Not
can't
the
seem to
big-
escape you.
Film culture is
Ooh,
like the exhaust
R.I.P.
port on the Nazi Death Star.
The Nazi Death Star.
The Nazi Death Star.
Hold up. All right, so
Go-
like I
go
said,
back.
I zoned out
Excuse
a little
me.
bit. Let's fucking bring this
Propaganda
back.
and that
Sure, like-
adoration of the medium
Sorry.
leaves them vulnerable to penetration.
Oh my
Film
god.
culture is like the exhaust port on the Nazi Death Star.
Oh, so yeah, Wyatt, I see why you wanted to cover this video because you just
my
fucking
points
randomly
aren't
picked up Star
stupid.
Wars.
I make very good points. See, it's like the Star Wars. It's like, oh, I know the Star
Oh
Wars.
shit! I know Star Wars. I also know the movie he's fucking
Boba Fett.
covering.
Darth Vader is Hitler.
Oh,
Oh, God.
that broke my brain for the Nazi Death Star.
The Nazi Death Star.
Can't count how many times like people say like the stormtroopers in Star Wars are the Nazis.
Well,
Did you know that?
I mean,
I mean,
yeah,
the point in Force Awakens, they
they're
literally do the
called
salute.
fucking
Oh, yeah, they-
stormtroopers.
I know.
I mean, did you know that Aragorn broke his toe? I know.
he also deflected that
Completely
knife.
unrelated movie facts.
Well, I mean, it's just as fucking related as this fucker bringing up goddamn Star Wars. So it's fucking
Yeah, it's true.
keep
Fair
it going.
enough.
During the screening, Marcel, Shoshana's lover and projectionist, lights a pile of 35mm film on fire and starts a conflagration that consumes the cinema. The Nazi high command is destroyed in a theater by a fire started by film.
This is meta.
Oh, fuck off.
This is meta cinema.
They are crushed by the weight of their own films.
If in real life the Nazi regime fell apart because of a propaganda effort on the part of the Allies, that would be a very noteworthy and quite poignant symbolism.
Very poetic.
You know? It's like the Nazi high command, we're going to do it in like big glory. We're going to make his death really fucking bloody and gratifying. But ultimately, it was cinema that brought down the Nazis. That would be like a nice thing to bring around. It would be a cool detail. But that's not the world we live in. And literally, the 35mm film being highly flammable is literally just the thing that makes it the MacGuffin of the movie.
Yep. I'm pretty sure Shoshana would have found some fucking dynamite, but she would have done anything she possibly could have to kill all these Nazis. Because guess what? She was a Jew under fucking Nazi regime. She has a bit of an axe to grind, if you could say that.
Yeah, it's kind of why she's super cold to Frederick. Like, because regardless of any of the bullshit with how human he is in the film, he's still the enemy. And he's like, the film is him depicting like him shooting American soldiers.
Yeah.
And doing an amazing job.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, fucking MVP of the goddamn fucking world. He was literally sitting on like fucking 6 nukes.
I think he's gonna get the battle royale.
What was the level up sound for World at War? Like, because I was thinking of the guitar, but that's Modern Warfare 2.
I was gonna say the most popular one is the fucking Modern Warfare one.
AC-130 above.
Predator missile inbound.
It's almost too on the nose. One could interpret this to say it's cinema that killed the Nazis.
We're gonna be doing one.
Yeah, you could interpret it that way, but that doesn't make it what the film is.
Yeah,
and,
I mean...
Okay, we've already gone, like, the foundation so far has been really shaky, and then he's just throwing this out. He's like, so you could interpret this to say that film killed the Nazis, and we're going to just take that as absolutely true, and my next point is going to be based on that, but, like, we are now, like, several steps removed from anything being the way it actually is.
Mm-hmm.
So this point is coming from nowhere and going nowhere.
Right.
One thing,
kind of like the video.
Thing only. Killing Nazis.
We can really see the cinema as war comparison when Shoshana kills Zoller in the projection room. Zoller, in Nation's Pride, snipes his enemies from above in a bell tower. But in the cinema, it's inverted. This time, he's still up high in the projection booth, separated from
Wait, repeat
You're just
that?
pointing out that it's inverted and, like, saying it as if that in and of itself is, like, profound or noteworthy.
I didn't know that.
But he, like, if you go back and just watch that, he didn't actually say anything.
Yeah, Tom, let's...
In Nation's Pride, snipes his enemies from above in a bell tower. But in the cinema, it's inverted. This time, he's still up high in the projection booth, separated from the battle below, but he's the victim. His heroism on the field of battle is undermined and taken away in the context of the theme.
Inverted would be he's below getting shot.
Yeah, that would be an inversion.
That would be an inversion.
He's standing up when he gets shot, so fucking get fucked.
But he's up high. It's symbolism.
It's wrong. It's very frustrating.
Where's he going with this?
Alright, to point out a nice little detail that Max and I were pointing out, during this shot, you can see he's rummaging through his jacket to pull out his pistol.
Yeah,
grabbing his gun, yeah.
Inglorious Bastards is a fucking fantastic movie. I want to get to the point of this motherfucker saying it's bad.
Yeah,
I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting to hear what Tarantino got wrong.
Yep. And we're
the title of the thing.
We're almost 6
we
minutes
still don't even
in.
know what he was saying about film.
Yeah, we're 6 minutes in.
We've just gotten like 5 minutes worth of him saying, like, you see, film's very important in this. Well, first few minutes are, here is a rundown of the movie that I'm spoiling because I assume you've seen it. But anyway, here's a rundown regardless because I have to fill fucking time, apparently.
Yeah,
And then it comes into there's a lot of film in this movie.
And he's mainly
Lord of the
just
Rings is about dirt path. Look at all these dirt roads there are. They're very abundant in the world in which the story takes place. Therefore, they must be narratively significant, obviously.
and I want to make up another point about the runtime. We're about 6 minutes in, account for about 2 minutes of ads. We're literally halfway through his fucking video, and he hasn't made his point.
He hasn't. And
well, so far he's in relation to film. He's just talked about how Nazis used film,
and films use them in this movie.
Yes. So let's.
I've always been irritated by this like weird video essayist thing. Let me title this video this like clickbaity bullshit, and then never get to the point. And
well, that's literally what it is.
That's what the vast majority of them are.
Remember when we covered the fucking Outer Wilds video, and the guy said it was a fucking disaster, and literally said nothing bad about the game, and then when we got to the end, he actually said it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
It was literally clickbait because he knew that the game is universally praised.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like, hey, fucking hey, bring it back to Quantum TV. It's almost like, saying something bad to fucking get views.
What was it? It's like we spent fucking nearly 9 hours going through videos about how something changed a guy's life, and by the end, we still had no fucking idea how it had any impact on his life.
I exactly know what you're talking about. That was Brown Table on how the Snyder Cut changed his life. That one was shiny.
The Snyder Cut changed my life. We still don't know to this day.
I think I've like deleted. Was I even there? I feel
no,
like
you weren't. This is before you were part of the staff. This was
before I was born.
This was myself, Slur Ninja, and Shiny FX, and we published that stream before even EFAB touched it, and it was so surreal because they said almost the exact same points we were saying.
Yeah, it's cinema. It's a movie. It's also a film.
Meta cinema.
Films.
Films.
Slur, that's only happened like twice, right? So, the Snyder Cut and then what we thought of Malignant.
What's happened twice?
Where we cover something and then EFAP covers it.
But then, but they almost say the exact same things we say.
Yeah, fucking Rags the entire.
We do a lot of similar points. But
yeah, Rags was literally saying, "Is this a fucking parody?" Because it's literally what I was worried about. I was like,
I think a lot of people are thinking that when they see Malignant. It is genuinely unclear as to whether or not.
You know what? Actually, stop this fucking shitty video for a second. Can you actually look up to see if that actually ever got anything fucking addressed?
I will look on a second.
It didn't
separate
when
tab.
I googled it during our stream.
Yeah, but it's been months now.
I know, but I'm saying it's been a while.
Malignant.
That movie is hilarious.
That movie is fucking hilarious.
It is very fucking amusing.
The fucking part with the fucking. I remember it because I was actually getting into the movie, but what snapped me the fuck out is the first time the ghost comes out and like she's about to do the washing machine, where it like hurriedly fucking runs across the down below the stairs. I was like, oh. This is a joke.
I think I finally lost it when the lady who turned out to be the mom fell through the ceiling.
Yeah, that's literally like getting hit by the car in Wish Upon. Like it's one of those things where it's like, okay, this is now a comedy.
And then you cannot tell me that it's not parody when what was it, Gabriel is just fucking things up at that police station and then throws that fucking chair.
Yeah, throws a chair.
That was a hell of a fucking throw.
Hey, during the entire time he's been eating on fucking abortions, another topical thing, but during the entire time he was watching the Boondocks, and if you throw a chair, that's how you fucking start shit.
Yeah, the conversation continues on, but there's still nothing from James Wan.
Of course, because I feel like he's never gonna do it. It's kind of like when Neil Breen. Like, when's like, what the fuck is the point of all these fucking parts in your movie? He's like, well, it's up to your interpretation of what it is. And it's like, oh, okay. So
when are we?
Basically, you have no idea what your original point was. Cool.
Yeah. When are we gonna tackle Neil Breen films? Because that is gonna be a
trip and a half. I don't know that we need to. I think they've been done a lot. I've seen pretty much all of them already.
Oh, you've actually seen the films? I've only watched YMS's coverage. I have actually never sat down to watch them.
No,
I
they're
don't
pretty hilarious.
recommend you bother, to be honest. They're really shit.
Slur is a fucking philistine. I say you should watch them. They're just as good as Inglorious Bastards. Go fucking tear it up, dude.
That's just not.
They are
That's
as engaging as Inglorious Bastards. I'll give you that one.
Max
You will
puts a hand.
definitely be like, "What the fuck am I watching?"
Max
fuck?
just puts a hand on Slur and goes, "That's just not right."
That's just.
Ah! Ah!
I cannot believe you've killed yourself.
Oh,
I just
no.
Why did you commit suicide?
No, I cannot believe you committed suicide. I
cannot
cannot believe you committed suicide.
Yes,
Why
it's
did you do
even
this?
more
Why did you commit
clinical.
suicide?
How could you have done this?
How could you have committed suicide?
I'm gonna
All
shoot
the
this
times I've
damn
helped
car
you,
full of holes.
all the times I've helped you, just can't do it this time.
I think about you every day.
All right. Anyway, we're fucking done talking about a good director. Let's get back to this fuckhead.
Theater.
Oh, no.
In this version of World War II, it's not tanks, snipers, or bombers that end the war. Instead, it's a cinema owner, some Jewish guerrilla soldiers, and a film that destroys the Nazi machine. It's no coincidence
And
that a
also,
director...
the betrayal of Hans Landa allowed it to happen, even though he actually knew about the plot the whole time, because it was actually executed quite poorly.
Yeah, and also, fucking bombs and explosives and gunfire and whatever. So it's technically not tanks. So
Again, it's like the film is important in the movie narratively because it serves the MacGuffin purpose. It's like if this movie took place on an oil field instead of in a cinema, well, would that make the movie about how the oil drum is more powerful than the sword? Because of how, like, the war is ended by oil drums burning the Nazis' lives. Like, it's the functional thing that does the stuff.
director
And yeah, setting it in a cinema and making film and cinema and directors and actors and that whole world so integral to bringing the Nazis down probably felt pretty fucking good to Quentin Tarantino, who just loves, the whole movie industry and the whole process of making movies. Probably makes it feel closer to home. Feels cool. So yeah, I don't doubt that was part of it, but I don't know, he's adding like this whole extra layer that just doesn't seem to fit. And it's pretentious wank.
Yeah.
It doesn't
looks
help.
like he's like
fucking
he...
Ed Sheeran fucking face goddamn swapper motherfucker. Yeah. So let's fucking continue on.
Of cinema ends his movie about cinema with this iconic quote.
You didn't properly establish that.
I think this just might be my masterpiece.
Yep.
This isn't just
I
Rain
get it.
talking about his ability to carve up Nazis, but Tarantino using the lieutenant as a mouthpiece to say that this
No, he's
movie
not. He's
is
literally
his own
talking about
masterpiece.
fucking carving up Nazis.
No.
I would argue that this is one of his masterpieces as a film, but like that's not what he's saying. It's just a fucking callback when he was like, practice.
And you notice how that statement didn't get backed up with an obscure name of someone whose book no one's ever fucking read is because he only does that for the statements he doesn't expect, or he'll throw out some things with like citations that don't really matter and don't actually give you any additional information or context. But then he'll give you other things where he'll just say some shit and expect you to just take it at face value.
Well, because you're not really paying attention. You're like fucking doing dishes or folding laundry or whatever.
And because he sounds like the kind of person who cites his sources, you just don't question it.
He also looks like Ed Sheeran, in which, why everybody loves Ed Sheeran.
I mean, he actually looks like marginally better than Ed Sheeran, who is actually... Ed Sheeran has always looked like a bit of a fucking yoke. I don't know why he became so popular, other than the fact that he can sing.
I mean, that's all you really need.
Slur, I will bet you...
Usually not to be a superstar. You
Slur,
usually have to be like...
Well, he also has an acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
Or a ukulele.
Or ukulele.
Slur, I will bet you $5 that he will bring up some philosophizer or some
He already
bullshit.
did.
No, he brought up a scholar.
No, sorry. The fucking difference without a distinction, or distinction without a difference.
Is there a difference between...
Well, I mean, you have to be a scholar to be a philosopher because you're a scholar of philosophy.
Exactly. So.
masterpiece, his own testament to the power of cinema. Tarantino even said in an interview, all that happens in Inglorious Bastards is because of the cinema, and it's not a metaphor. The 35mm cinema killed the
wait, hold on. It's what now? It's not a metaphor? Things literally just happen in the fucking cinema?
Yeah, why is he showing this quote? It doesn't prove his point.
Actually, and
Well,
fucking
he's saying it
contradicts it.
So if I present contradictory evidence of a thing I'm trying to prove, but I say it like it's actually proving my point, then I'm in the fucking clear.
Yeah, it's almost as if this video is shit, and he's a fucking bad YouTuber, but whatever.
Third Reich. I'm not ashamed to say that this idea was one of the best moments of my life as an author. Now, obviously, Bastards is an alternate history. Hitler didn't really get gunned down in a...
I don't know.
Wait, what?
Obviously!
He didn't?
Hitler did fill. Hitler was filled with gunfire, but he was also pulling the trigger.
Whatever.
I mean, filled might be a bit enthusiastic of phrasing.
He was just hanging out in Brazil.
He acquired some bullets at
Colombia.
rapid speed.
Where did they go?
Argentina.
Argentina, there it is, thank you. One of the fucking South Americas.
But that speaks to the broader point. Cinema didn't storm Normandy, but it won the war in people's minds and kept it one. During and after the war, cinema served to cement anti-Nazism as the norm for American culture. A culture which was
I don't know, I feel like
exported.
video games done it too. It's not like a fucking
I think it's been the norm for like most cultures.
Fuck, didn't fucking Superman
Yeah.
fuck Batman defeat like Nazis like later? Yeah, that's what Vandal Savage did. Like Vandal Savage takes Hitler's place and becomes like Hitler, and
Well,
he
that's-
leads the numbers. Not
That's why I
Nazis.
made the joke that everybody punched Hitler at the time.
Yeah, and this was also a period of time where like the film industry was really fucking ramping up, and when they discovered that war movies about, you know, your local neighborhood handsome lad shooting a bunch of Nazis was actually extremely profitable and popular, they just started churning them out. And
One
that
of
just
the-
kind of fed into like the whole culture. To the point now where not only are Nazis like our go-to cultural reference point for evil, but just like acceptable bad guys.
Yep.
If we start designing bad guys at some level, I think a lot of people will accidentally just remake the Nazis. Or like
Well,
some fantasy or sci-fi version of them.
Well,
Yeah,
to accidentally bring it back to Star Wars, George Lucas wanted to make the costumes as forgettable as possible, yet they basically just used Nazi uniforms for the Empire.
It's an old outfit, so but checks out.
Nazis have remained a symbol of evil in many movies, ranging from Sly Stallone's soccer movies, to Indiana Jones's Adventures in the Desert, to Captain
it's just
America
they're
punching
fucking
Hitler
evil.
in the face.
Wait, what the fuck is that soccer movie with
I
Stallone?
was trying not to get hung up on that because like
what was that?
No.
Stallone has a football match with Nazis.
Sylvester
Hmm.
Stallone soccer.
I want to watch that movie.
Right. Well, you have to understand then it's not that good of a movie because you know the Nazis don't get defeated by a cinema.
Oh yeah, it's not meta enough.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is it. It's called Victory, and an Allied POW prepare for a soccer game. Played in German-occupied Paris.
Yeah, that doesn't actually sound a lot. That doesn't sound like a lighthearted romp. That actually sounds like a really fucked up serious movie.
And yet we saw that picture of Sylvester Stallone at a goalpost with like 15 swastikas behind him.
Yeah, that doesn't really help its case in either direction, to be honest.
Yeah, fair enough.
Tarantino suggests that 35mm film and the medium of cinema in general is the cultural safeguard that killed the echoes of Nazism and kept them dead. But was he right? Over the past few years, we've seen a rise.
Because one,
No.
God damn it!
come
If I didn't need any more,
that would be fucking stupid.
Is this
If
where
it
we're
didn't-
going?
say if it didn't need any more fucking validation, we shouldn't have fucking done this goddamn fucking video. Now it's fucking getting political.
Fuck me.
Are the Nazis truly
Are the
gone?
Nazis truly dead? Some guys kind of like Trump, so they're Nazi.
I heard some guy didn't like The Last Jedi. He must be a Nazi.
Yeah, we're not
Damn
talking about that.
Nazi
We're-
Russian bots.
Goddamn Nazis.
In xenophobic neo-fascist political groups. The Golden Dawn in Greece, the Alternative for Germany Party, and white nationalists in the USA. The degree to which these groups can be likened to Hitler's Nazis varies, but the shared DNA is pretty easy to
Varies.
spot.
Oh, varies. So it's like it could be fucking tiny little threads that actually don't fucking mean anything because they're not actually National Socialists.
Also,
Funny how that fucking word gets thrown
also,
around.
I'm
Like, yeah,
sure.
most
I'm
of them are
sure
just,
that
like, ANCAPs who are a bit racist.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sure that graph he pulled up is absolutely 100% founded on statistical data of the
Party
rise
and
of
white
neo-Nazis in 2016. Isn't
White
that coincidence?
You know,
And,
a year famous for how reliable all of the information being provided to the public
Yeah.
was.
White
Considering
nationalist follower
White
group.
nationalist follower growth. Like, how the fuck do you even calculate or like know that?
Oh, I've
Well,
actually seen some of the things that were like to keep track of like the alt-right on YouTube. You would have like these fucking lists, these databases of YouTubers with their political alignment, and it was wrong so fucking often.
Yeah, there
Well,
there
yeah.
was a fucking like list of shit like that. Like they called fucking Ben. That's the famous ones calling Ben Shapiro a Nazi. You know, the Jew.
Yeah.
Can we talk about how oddly specific this number count is? Apparently in 2012, they had
Oh.
3,542
Problem
members.
is this is a fucking goddamn poll. Like fucking like
Yeah.
you call anybody and ask them fucking poll. Are you a Nazi? Yes, bitch. Don't fucking call me anymore. You know what I mean? Nobody gives a shit about any of these fucking
Well,
statistics.
there is another side to it as well. You see, 87.99% of people will think a statistic is more accurate if it's more specific.
Oh, there you go. It's probably fucking full of shit, and it's just proving my point.
George Washington University's project on extremism. Thanks.
So somebody looking at accounts, so it's not even fucking asking people polls, because you know.
Nationalists in the USA. The degree to which these groups can be likened to Hitler's Nazis varies, but the shared DNA is pretty easy to spot. There's also been a rise in
from like very high to very, very, very fucking low.
Yeah. Well, they're white. Boom. Fucking case solved.
It's the
Case
guy
solved.
carrying a swastika flag. He probably thinks that the Nazis were right.
Yeah, probably. He's like, yeah,
but
Nazis are good.
But the guy holding the Confederate flag, that's just like he probably doesn't agree with the man.
Yeah, it's almost like fucking overgross simplifications there. Yeah. And thing is, even fucking Inglorious Bastards is one of my least favorite things in the entire world is overgross simplifications, because it's like you try to put everything into a category just because you don't feel like fucking engaging with it. And that's the thing. So like it's like, oh, we have to kill every single Nazi. And it's like, well, not every single fucking person who wore a Nazi uniform was a Jew killer. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people who fucking like it.
Yeah, a lot of them were just fucking Wilhelm.
Well,
which Wilhelm is like the perfect example, because like that's the thing. And you feel so bad for Wilhelm because the fucking actor does such a great job of being so scared.
You also fucking don't feel overly bad. Like it's the tragedy of war, but like he's a soldier. This is war. It just be like that sometimes. It sucks for Wilhelm. It sucks that had to happen, but dude, he wasn't making it out of there.
Yep.
I was wondering if Aldo, if his main thought process was, if you're not Schultz, who actively saw this shit and rebelled, then you are contributing to the evil and therefore deserve to be exterminated.
Well, yeah, that's how he fucking viewed it. Remember,
yeah,
that's his whole thing. He's like,
right,
you know, take that Nazi. So wait, he's gonna hug his mother and get out of the fucking war. But it's like, oh, he's still a Nazi. We're gonna put this mark on his fucking hand. Of course, he fucking
right.
That's all the thought.
As far as, but see, they're combatants. They are in the war. It's like if you're a soldier, you don't have room for that nuance, obviously.
Unless you're fucking got them prisoners and you're gonna release them. You have a little bit of nuance there, but Aldo doesn't engage with it. So, like I said, it's just that's what the movie is.
Right.
Anti-Semitic and racist violence and Nazi-esque content on the internet. With all of this
fuck off.
Nazi-esque content.
Like
yeah, see, we live in like the post 2016 to 2018 world now, where we've just seen those buzzwords be ground down to nothing.
Exactly.
Online
like I said, remember, Mahler's a Nazi, so
if everyone's a Nazi, nobody is.
So Hitler was syndrome.
This article originally appeared on
Maybe that was
Vice.
Hitler's plan to get rid of all the Nazis in the world.
Yeah.
Oh no.
If everyone's a Nazi, no one will be.
No
Therefore,
one
no
will
Nazis.
be.
He's the
Yep.
most anti-Nazi Nazi who's ever lived.
Oh my
You
god.
should thank Hitler.
What a hero.
What a fucking hero. I hope he killed Hitler.
I mean, Hitler did kill Hitler.
Hitler killed Hitler.
Yeah.
No way.
But
Wait,
you
he
won't
made a
get-
clone?
But you won't
No
get
way.
Goebbels. You won't get any.
And then you see, one day, the president of the United States is going to be like in a cave, and like Goebbels, zombie Goebbels, is going to be in a room full of tanks of clone Hitlers, being like, "I've been every voice in your head."
Died before.
I've been dead
I've
before.
died. Also,
I've
this
fucked French women in the ass before.
so this
my God.
whole this thing he brought up when talking about neo-Nazis or doing terror attacks. This article originally appeared on Vice Canada, so you know it's legit.
no.
Who gives
So
a
not
shit?
even like the regular Vice, but Vice Canada.
Like, who fucking cares?
Like,
Like,
imagine writing the kind of shit that didn't even get on Vice.
I know. I'm like, fucking A. Fucking
Why would
horrible.
you even bother having hands?
Oh, that might be a little too far, but.
I was gonna say Slur just is like he goes like old school Congo. He wants a fucking hand.
Whoa, okay. Chill.
Give me your hands. They
I'd like
pop-
for this video to talk about why
Surrender your
Tarantino
limbs,
was wrong.
Ethan. You're
Yeah, I was about to
wasting them.
say, like. Oh, wait,
We're-
no, because Tarantino was wrong because the Nazis weren't killed in his fucking fake movie.
Oh yeah.
But he didn't say they would be. Therefore,
You
he's
didn't
not
kill the
wrong.
Nazis,
Can't be
Quentin.
wrong for not being correct in the statement he didn't fucking say.
No, I
You were
can't
You
wrong,
made it up.
Quentin. You should have killed all the Nazis, Quentin. Why didn't you kill all the Nazis? Hmm?
Because he's racist, obviously. That's why he
Obviously.
only
Quin-
makes movies so he gets a chance to say the N-word.
Yes,
Quentin
that's true.
Tarantino hands you a
Based.
picture of a woman's foot.
you
Here you go, Tom.
Huh?
And when it's like, why didn't you kill all the Nazis? He just hands you a picture of somebody's foot. Here you go.
Here you go.
Well, this is fine, but doesn't answer my question.
It's not fine. Don't fucking pretend.
Yeah.
No, it's not fine.
Stop it.
I will not.
If it was a
encour- I
picture
will
of
not-
Mary Elizabeth Winstead, it'd be fine. But you know.
I just literally fucking walked over and smacked the picture out of your hand and smacked your hand. It's like, it's not fine. Don't do that. Don't get
No.
that.
Don't
Okay.
enable him.
Don't do that. Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
With all of this happening and growing every day, it's safe to say that maybe Tarantino's theory that 35mm cinema killed Nazism for good doesn't hold up.
He didn't say that.
Fuck!
He didn't fucking say that.
God, yeah. Fucking hell, Quentin. You with your wild theory that's absolute nonsense. You fucking idiot.
So, hey, wisecrack, Inglorious Bastards is a work of fiction.
Also, that
Also,
wasn't his theory. You
Tarantino
made that up,
didn't-
put it in
Taran-
his head, and then told him
my
it was
God.
bullshit.
Max, what is the world coming to where we need to remind adults that these
joking.
are movies?
I was joking. He actually said, like, wow, Quentin Tarantino didn't erase Nazism.
He was wrong. That film erased Nazism.
Guys,
Because
I don't know
that's
if you
the
know
thing that
this,
he
but
was
Inglorious
saying.
Bastards, the Nazis didn't actually die.
Yeah.
That was made up.
All
So
of them
therefore, all forms of white nationalism and Nazism today are because of Quentin Tarantino not killing the Nazis in his fictional film.
Well, it's more that he said that the Nazis were dead, but he's wrong.
Oh.
Because that's absolutely.
Ah.
He said that, the film killed the
Because-
Nazis, but he was wrong. His theory, his very thoroughly explained theory, where Quentin Tarantino talks about how Nazism died because of cinema.
I love
That
how
thing he's famous for
But
having
yeah,
said.
that thing he absolutely said.
I love how you laughed while you're trying to fucking say that too. Like you couldn't even hold it together for how fucking retarded that is.
Well, it's
Yeah.
just fucking
It's
hilarious.
he
Like he
put words
showed
in
the
man's mouth and then told him they were wrong. Just the fucking audacity of being that stupid.
well, he showed the quote on the screen.
Where it's
Like-
not a metaphor.
This
And
actually,
he didn't say Nazism. He didn't say the concept of Nazism. He said the Nazis were killed by. Like he said, it wasn't. He said it. It wasn't a metaphor. They
It's like
died because of
literally
the.
film in that theater.
Yeah, the
burned.
film. It burned. It
cause of
burned the
death.
cinema to the ground and
It's
killed
not a
them.
metaphor. They actually died.
They
because,
literally died.
film.
Not the concept of Nazism. The actual Nazis in the
What?
film, the fictional film.
what's the symbol? What's the symbology of that though?
The swastika.
Ah,
Yeah, you
his
can't miss
face,
it.
his face right now is like my brain trying to reset from all the stupid shit.
That
Yeah.
caught me off guard. I'm not gonna lie.
It is
That-
an audaciously
That he actually
stupid
did the
statement.
thing.
I will say I can't believe this video is stupider than I thought it was gonna be.
I didn't think we were gonna go this way, but we still got a few minutes left. I'm still waiting
We
to
have a
hear
lot- we have a
what
lot of fucking time.
Tarantino got wrong.
We still have a lot of fucking time left.
I guess we're
Jesus
here.
Christ.
What he got wrong was that he didn't destroy Nazism in this
Can't
movie.
believe
What he
What?
got wrong is that film didn't destroy the Nazis. Actually,
Yeah,
it's like,
didn't.
yeah, I know. It was guns and bullets and soldiers,
and bombs.
particularly Russian ones, marching on Berlin.
Yeah.
And some American ones go and take this, you fucking kraut.
Yeah.
You
I mean, they were out
goddamn
there, but,
fascist
you know.
fucking sauerkraut schnitzer loving motherfucker.
Touch me again, Krautburger.
Krautburger.
I did like I saw you flinch, and then just fucking
Fucking
headbutted
headbutts him.
Wait, hang on. That's the second time he's used like fucking kraut as a goddamn like sandwich. Like, what the fuck? Does he actually think that's what they fucking eat?
Maybe.
I would not be surprised.
He doesn't give a shit.
Wait a minute. You put just cabbage in a goddamn sandwich? All right.
Alright.
Oh, well, alright.
All right.
Brad Pitt proceeds to eat something. Alive!
Alive.
Well, isn't that nice?
Well, ain't that nice?
Arrivederci.
Dirty.
So,
Okay.
what happened? Why isn't cinema enough anymore? Well, to answer
What?
Oh, okay, hold on.
Because
Enough-
it's
enough for what?
cinema. Like, what do you want? It's a
Why
fucking
isn't cinema enough? What is it not enough for? And
Yeah, well,
anymore.
that's
So
what do you mean
you're
enough
saying at
anymore?
some
For
point,
what?
like, film was enough for there not to be Nazis, or not to be white supremacists.
You know,
or
like,
or
fucking
red
all of-
and
all-
like, what does that even mean?
You know, all of
Neo-Nazis
those.
and like skinheads have been a thing for a very long time.
You know, all those guys who died in D-Day, fucking heroically trying to fucking storm into Germany. You know, it's they shouldn't have fucking wasted their time. The fucking movies got this shit.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
should have just like made a short film.
Yeah,
Jared
fucking-
from Wisecrack time travels to after the Normandy invasion. He's just like, this isn't enough. We need cinema.
We need a film, and he just fucking throws a film reel at
We
him.
need to create meta cinema.
Creates.
Weapon to surpass meta cinema.
Medicine and then uses nukes? No.
Do you
It can't
think meta cinema can bloom on the battlefield?
In the time after World War II, the world was split into two: cinema and video games.
Oh my god.
After that, let's first discuss why cinema ever worked in the first place. It's clear from the film that
It's
Tarantino
entertainment,
is
you
primarily
fucking
concerned with the
Entertainment.
power
What do you mean
of movie.
work?
Didn't you know
What?
when we won World War II, it was via the power of cinema?
Yeah, I remember that.
This is what I was saying earlier. If the Nazis were actually ended because of an Allied effort on the propaganda front, yeah, he might maybe have some kind of point, but he literally doesn't.
Yep.
Yeah, we're still talking about a fictional movie here, right?
Yeah, it turns out
Supposedly.
in real life it was a bunch of pissed off Russians who helped end World War II.
Yeah, sounds about right. And a couple of nukes.
Alright,
Well, that was for one of the
and
allies.
the act of going to the theater. It's a communal
His
activity
allies, I
shared with
mean.
many people, all of whom are experiencing the same thing you are. This especially matters because it turns watching movies into a ritual.
Hold up. You're saying I'm experiencing the same things. I don't know. I enjoyed a really fucking fun movie. You expected this thing to murder Nazis, so...
To a ritual.
Also,
Ritual
people did the
doesn't
same
mean
No, no.
thing with
goat
radio
sacrificing or pentagrams necessarily. It simply
Wait, hold on. I just missed whatever the fuck he just... Something with a
Yeah, go back.
pentagram?
I
What the
promise you he didn't miss a lot. Like, fucking A. Like,
I think it's the word ritual or something, where he's
Same
clarifying
thing.
he doesn't mean it in a religious thing.
you are. This especially matters because it turns watching movies into a ritual. Ritual
Yeah.
doesn't mean goat sacrificing
okay.
or pentagrams necessarily. It simply means a set of activities that distinguish one moment from the mundane time surrounding it. Paying for a ticket, finding your seat, and watching the movie all amount to an experience of ritual that makes the movie itself more resonant because, as psychologists have argued, ritualizing activities lends them a greater air of importance.
All right,
I
what
mean,
the
yeah,
fuck?
that's
Who fucking
pretty
cares? Yeah.
true in its
Yeah,
own way.
we all fucking we do a ritual and get into our cars and stop at stop signs. You fucking moron! Like, what do
But
you?
yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah, I
Fuck are
because
you
don't.
trying to
humans are
fucking say?
habitual creatures, we will ritualize a lot of things, and going to the cinema is one of those things. You know, sitting down with your popcorn in your head, thinking, "Yeah, better not eat too much of it while I'm still watching the ads. I want to save some for the movie." It's like all of these little things that we think of like a proper order and sequence of things and how they should be done. It's like that's just our brain thinking, is like, okay, this is significant. I'm marking this period of time out as like semi-important, and so I'm gonna like try and construct it properly. And yeah, going out and seeing a film in the cinema, other than the fact that it's on the big screen with like the really loud speakers and everything, the whole thing just makes a film feel more significant than if you just watch it on your fucking laptop. Other than the quality of the movie itself.
Can't I just
Like
watch a fucking movie?
the viewing experience is completely different and has completely different connotations.
No, don't you understand why when you do anything, you do a ritual because you're
I
doing something outside of the normal while doing something completely fucking normal.
I understand
Well,
that. I just
in a
don't
little bit.
care.
If you smoke, the act of smoking, the way you hold it, the way you light it, because you will do it so often, you will develop like a particular way that you like to do it. And if you do it any other way, it's like if you had, I don't know, you hurt your hand doing something and you actually had to switch which hand held the cigarette and which hand used the lighter, it would feel incredibly wrong because you fucked up one of your own little rituals.
Yeah, but the problem is with this fucking definition of rituals means that every fucking thing is a ritual. That's why it's fucking stupid.
Only if it's repeated and it has like a specific order that feels correct. But yeah, the ritual is not a very protected term. It actually has a very, very broad definition.
Exactly. Which is, this guy just saying more fucking broad generalities because he doesn't actually have a fucking point to make.
Not really, no.
He's literally just wanted to talk about fucking modern Nazis. That's what the whole fucking point. This is what we got fucking suckered into. We literally fucking broke our like no political fucking thing in this fucking video.
And then got yanked into it because we were just like, what did Tarantino got wrong? And it's like,
well,
Nazis are still here, and it's like, what?
Well, to be fair, this was your idea.
Literally had a filter for this.
Yep.
For Tarantino, this is most true in the experience of film in particular. He shoots all of his movies on film, argued against having his movies digitally projected, and only shows film at the theater he owns in Los Angeles. The added ritual elements of film, the sound of the projector, the changing of the reels, the need for a projectionist, all serve to supercharge the ritual elements of the theater. That power enables the stories we tell on film to have a lasting impact among communities. Strong enough, the film asserts, to keep the Third Reich dead. Unfortunately, that's no longer.
And there at the very end, he fucks it up. Because, like,
I was trying
like
to let
I was
him
saying,
finish his point.
Ritual is not like a very protected term. Like, literally, if you do the same thing every day, it's like when you get up in the morning and you get dressed for work pretty much the same exact way, in the same exact order, most days. That's a ritual. And if you're doing something else, you actually notice the difference. It is significant in your head, even just a little bit, that, oh no, this is actually, today is different. I have to remember that today, oh, I can't wear those shoes because I'm going to be working outside. I need to grab my steel toes. You know?
Also, he's going off the assumption that every single person that goes to the cinema has the exact same film viewing ritual experience.
Which is just not fucking true.
No. And also he's like vastly over exaggerating how powerful it is.
Well, I
Like,
think you guys
why
are
I use such minor examples is because I'm trying to draw attention to the fact that, like, it's a very low level emotional impact for this stuff unless you're a very ritualized culture group. Like, if you're religious, now this is where like ritual with a capital R comes in, because these are actually fucking doctrinal, spiritually important rituals that have like an extra level of weight to them. So they're not just like your own little personal ways that you do things. There's this group emotional element to it that makes it more profound. And he is acting like going to the cinema has that. like it's a religious thing, which is uncomfortable and really weird.
I think
Yeah.
you're missing.
But it's what he would need for this point to make sense.
I think you're missing the whole point. You're going to the movies. You're praying to Cthulhu to murder Nazis. That's what you're doing. The problem is we're not working hard enough to do so. So we're fucking up.
Naturally.
We
I
are the
guess.
Well,
problem.
you know what with COVID,
Yeah. We are the
Yeah.
problem, not cinema or Nazis.
Meanwhile, on the side of the Watch Together, I don't know if you guys are seeing this, is fucking spitting a Doctor Strange ad at me.
Well,
Oh.
that's fair. That's a
I
cinema.
am not seeing that at all.
Well, that's a
And
cinema.
I'm
So.
glad.
Longer how it goes. You can stay abreast of every major movie release without ever leaving your bed. There's no built-in ritual to engaging with movies on your laptop.
What do you mean?
What?
I
Why?
guess
Why?
there is something
Why
to
do
be
you
said for
assume
the
that?
fact that, like, at one point, going to the cinema was the only way
Well, think
to
about.
see
I
things.
was going to say,
But like,
think about the ritual he described: getting your popcorn, going down to sit down, and then watching the movie. What the fuck would you not do when you're watching it on your fucking tablet? You would get a snack, you would sit down, and you'd
You
watch
sit
your
down
Yeah.
fucking
on your
in fact,
sofa
I
or on
will
your
actually
bed.
attest. I absolutely have, like, on a normal day, I come home from work. It's like I know I have a block of about like 3 hours total to fit in my entire evening.
Mhm.
And I like forcibly ritualize that shit because I want to be able to maximize the amount of time I'm sat there, like on my computer, just doing whatever the fuck.
right.
So
Yeah.
yeah, you do ritual, and it's just a different ritual.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's not as powerful because it lacks the social component. It's like going to the cinema is something you would do with your friends, even though on paper it makes no sense as a social activity. But it's like you're
Yeah.
not going there to be social while you're there. You're going there, so it's like this ritual thing of like going to see a movie, and then like afterwards we'll then talk about it together. That is like one big activity in and of itself, even though most of it you spent in a dark room not speaking.
Yeah.
Unless it's
But
in
if you
this
went to your boys
instance.
and you said, "Hey, let's go do a ritual together in the cinema," it's like,
Oh,
bro,
what
you
now?
good?
Right. Or worse, they fucking go, "Oh, I thought you'd never ask," and start fucking busting out the fucking candles and tabs. And
I've
shit.
been
Oh,
waiting for
We
this.
start doing the dance from the live action Scooby Doo movie.
All right, so like it's fucking getting late, and I'm sick of this fucking video. Is there like any other point to this? Because I'm about to go to bed. I can't
Yeah,
fucking
let's
do this
kind
shit
of
anymore.
power through at this point. I think we've
It's
got the
like,
gist of it.
I'm done with this shit. It's fucking stupid.
We have to power through.
We
Yeah.
can do it.
This not only
can do
means
it, Max.
movies no longer resonate like they used to, but that people have the ability to curate
they're
their
shit
own
now.
cultural experience in a way that is hyper-tailored to their interests. With the disillusion of cinema's poignancy comes the loss of its powers. The source of all this is pretty clear. It's the internet, dummy. But to understand exactly
And that's where
how
the
it
Nazis came back?
The internet created the
Because,
Nazis. All right, let's
okay,
keep going.
so
happened,
the
we'll
Nazis
have to
came
turn-
back because people stopped going to the cinema, but like, that's not true. They still
Yeah.
go to the cinema. The cinema is still pretty important.
Still around.
No, but
Yeah, they're hanging in there.
Yeah,
they're
I
actually
mean,
they're making a good comeback.
well,
Okay.
yeah,
God bless-
Spider-Man made almost $2 billion.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny how like every time something releases that's actually kind of good, cinema seems to be like, oh, I guess we can be optimistic again. And then as soon as everything's shit again, it's like, oh no, the decline of our business, we're becoming obsolete. No.
Mhm.
Oh goodness gracious! Oh me! Oh my!
to a scholar who'd been speculating about the internet before it was even a twinkly network of tubes in Al Gore's eye, media theorist Marshall McLuhan. In his final work,
Hey!
The Global Village, he referred to the
God, I just
future
want to skip through
information
this shit. I
superhighway
don't give a
as
fuck about
global
what some
media network.
fucktard thought about
One
the internet.
offshoot of this new development, as he predicted it, was the death of monoculture, or in other words, everyone doing their own thing. This setup of everyone choosing culture a la carte.
Guess what? He
People
was-
didn't have a
guess-
monoculture in the first place, so
Yeah.
his point is moot.
Yeah, guess what? He's fucking wrong. Fucking everybody has their own fucking culture. Like, what the fuck? What is this fucking stupid fucking
And
point?
Well-
even in the age of like streaming, when back in the day when you had network TV, there would be like a few shows that basically everybody was watching because it's just what was on.
Yeah, that's all that we
But
had.
even now, when everybody can pretty much only ever watch the kind of thing that they specifically like, you still have water cooler shows. You still have those things that people will tune into just because everybody's tuning into them and there's conversation to be had. You still get
Literally,
that kind of unified point of culture, even though it no longer has an anchor in like people being forced to all watch the same fucking thing. It just kind of happens on its own. So this entire point is based on false premises.
Yep.
literally, Squid Game, Arcane, fucking Peace.
Oh, hey, everybody's been talking about this show. I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
We don't need fucking examples. It's everybody knows that. Everybody's heard and said that at one point.
Mm-hmm.
What did Tarantino get wrong about Inglorious Bastards?
He didn't kill Nazis. That's the whole fucking point of this
What?
goddamn video.
No,
Okay.
Tarantino had a whole thesis that movies killed Nazis, and he's wrong.
Yep.
Okay.
Now, he didn't, but that's where the confusion comes in.
Yeah.
Is a
So
symptom of
basically nothing. Tarantino
McLuhan
got
called-
nothing wrong about this film.
called robotism. Robotism, or right hemisphere thinking, is a capacity to be a conscious presence in many places at once. McLuhan saw technology as pushing humanity toward a confrontation with two different ways of thought. Left hemisphere thinking, which is associated with hierarchical reasoning and visual space, and right hemisphere thinking, which is associated with more primitive
I feel like
intuitions
we are
and
so
acoustic space.
fucking
For McLuhan,
beyond.
the Western
What are we
world has been
doing?
dominated by
He's
doing?
literally fucking saying left versus the right. I can't fucking believe it. I literally
But
can't believe it.
no, that it's left brain, right brain. It's a slightly different thing. I don't think your brains are having like swing states.
Yeah, but the problem is he's trying to label it as these two different things when it's like any fucking rational person can think both ways. Who would have fucking thought?
Well, no, everybody needs to be able to use both the left and right side of their brains, or they are in fact brain damaged and will be a vegetable.
Yeah.
But the left and right brain thing, that is just common terminology. It has absolutely nothing to do with political alignment.
I also
Well,
thought that was
besides the fact that
disproved.
it's left and right, yeah. But like I said, he's saying it's
But yeah, it's just
he's
do
saying
your
he's
hands
saying
have anything to do with your political alignment? Because
yeah,
they're
but
literally left and right.
but what he's fucking trying to make a point about is that like we're going to be split between the left and the right. He technically said the left hemisphere of the brain and right hemisphere of the brain, but you clearly see what the fuck he's trying to do. It's very strange that he's fucking framing it this way when it has nothing to do with the fucking goddamn movie.
Right, so he's going to say that the Nazis are all like logical and reason, and the left is all emotions. I don't think he's going there.
Well, no. If you look it back, he was saying that the fucking right is a bunch of cave people, and
Well, yeah, he
fucking
said the left
are
is
driven
like
by logic and reasoning. It's
logic,
like,
and the right is more primitive.
yeah, bring it back. This is what he fucking
Well,
said. He's
the
saying
brains,
the right.
the brains,
The
sides.
brains, my bad. You know, it has nothing to
Yeah,
do with anything
once.
else.
McLuhan saw technology as pushing humanity toward a confrontation with two different ways of thought. Left hemisphere thinking, which is associated with hierarchical reasoning and visual space, and right hemisphere.
It is also a side point, but like the difference between these two kinds of approaches and these two different, very broad groupings of people, you know, people who are more methodical and logical and reasonable, and they like things structured and orderly and following rules and knowing specific instructions, versus people who were more carefree and expressive and hippy dippy. Yeah, that existed at every single level of technology humans have had, because it's just a way that humans are built. So this is already fucked.
Yeah, it's weird that
Literally
he's
built.
saying that the right side is like our primal instincts, when it's like, I thought our right side was our more creative side.
Doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
Yeah, actually, I always had it that way as well. Like the left was for logic, the right was for
Creativity.
Thinking, which is associated with more primitive intuitions and acoustic space. For McLuhan, the Western world has been dominated by left hemisphere thinking, but technology is pushing us toward right hemisphere thinking, or robotism. The left hemisphere assumes
literally
shared
isn't.
culture and
No.
rules.
So
One
this is
example
why
of
this
this
guy
is the
fucking
shared
He just-
ideal that
He did
is
the thing.
dead.
He did the thing again, where he just kind of said that and expected you to take it as true. It's like,
Oh, look, it's
"Dude,
Inglorious
what the fuck did you
Bastards."
just say? That
Oh,
requires
yeah,
so
it's-
much qualification.
Yeah,
It's the film.
It's the
What he
movie.
said.
Look,
What he said was stupid.
And what did fucking Tarantino get wrong about it?
Nazis are bad and maybe should get scalped. On the other hand, there's the right brain thinking that rejects these shared ideas and has everyone coming up with their own systems of belief.
Okay, hold on. He said
But-
the left brain was like the logic and reason one, like the
killing
Nazi
Nazis.
should get scalped, even though that's like very clearly an emotionally charged response.
That's not
to something.
logical.
Yeah, that doesn't actually help them in any way other than morale.
Yeah, it's not an
belief and
objective. Yeah.
behavior. Now, the actual neuroscience of this is spotty at best, as recently
But
scientists
yeah,
have
because that's
poked
literally not how
holes
the
in the
brain is
idea of
functioned.
left
But
and
Right.
right brain thinking.
Oh, so
but
like
his identification.
in fact, the
everything is
brain
just-
isn't really even divided into two; it's more divided into three:
of course,
front, middle, and back, rather than left and right.
of course, everything he's just said in the last 2 minutes is completely fucking pointless.
Yeah,
Yep.
and also has nothing to
Fantastic.
do with what Tarantino got wrong about film. But you know,
You love to see
His
it.
identification of
To
the
be fair, I
effects of-
warned you about that earlier, but
I know. See, I have to try and give them the benefit of the doubt because I know nobody else fucking will.
technology
don't.
remains
It's
present. We're losing shared culture every day. Sure, there's a few
And we're also gaining shared culture, you fucking goblin.
vestiges of monoculture like Game
Numpty.
of Thrones and the Avengers, but mostly people are free to consume their own highly personalized suggestion algorithm. This arrangement is a double-edged sword. On the one hand, the splintering of society leaves a space for all kinds of cool things, like a YouTube channel that analyzes philosophy and culture. At the same time,
Fuck you.
Sure.
Analyzes
off.
is
Analyze.
being used extremely
Very
generously.
you're a
liberal use of the word analyze.
but you're a fucking finger nugget. Why the fuck would I give a shit about anything you have to say?
Fuck it.
room
Excellent.
for
And
behavior
also, it's
that
like this splintering of society from people.
Yeah.
Okay, let's like go back in time a little bit. Once
Going
upon a
back-
time, it wasn't actually that normal for just the average household to have novels. It's like, you know, fantasy novels, just adventure novels. It's like just kids having like a collection of books. There was a point in time where that wasn't normal.
Yeah,
You know,
'cause-
standardized education, like around the Industrial Revolution, really pushed that forward. So when that happened, what you got, instead of like everybody hearing the same stories or going to the same shows as their parents and each other, you got this splintering of society because everybody was able to pursue their own niche interests, and then lo and behold, everything was fine because everybody still had common cultural touchstones with one another. Now, there would be some novels that everybody was reading, or even though everybody's reading their own novels, there's like a radio show that everybody likes. His whole point is predicated on YouTube and niche interests being something unique to modern advances in technology, and it causing like a new conflict between methodical and logical people versus creative and free-spirited people, even though that's like one of the oldest conflicts in human fucking history.
we socially
It's like
agree.
every single thing in this video is wrong.
Yeah, I'm.
Is bad to blossom, like Nazism. McLuhan explains this as a
my
result
God.
of the loss of the
Ah!
Robotism is also decentralizing, he writes. Culture becomes organized like an electric circuit, each point in the net as central as the next. Electronic man loses touch with the concept of a ruling center, as well as the social restraints based on interconnection. Hierarchies constantly dissolve and reform.
Jeez, the length
By
of this quote.
What does that have to do with Tarantino?
What is this video?
He is on such a weird tangent.
Ruling center, McLuhan means the set of beliefs we all share to make sure society works. We all agree that it's good to be nice and bad to, I don't know, kill Jews for their ancestry, but that system only holds because we all think it makes sense. As that shared agreement becomes weaker, the nastiness it holds back can come to the fore.
Oh.
This is what McLuhan means
What?
when he compares
What?
So, this people having and pursuing niche interests is the splintering of society because it can lead to wrongthink, which we didn't have before. It's a very new problem, and you should be very scared and concerned about it, and watch many, many more YouTube videos about it.
Subscribe
God, I
to
hate
me.
this fear-mongering wank.
society to an electrical circuit. In a circuit, each point contributes to the whole, rather than there being a central source. You can reorganize the circuit at any point. The same is true.
You literally can't when it comes to working on a circuit board. Like, Because path of least resistance for electricity. I'm taking it very literal.
True for our culture now. There's no fixed ethical center, so you might get your ethics from Facebook, Twitter, something awful, 4chan, Snapchat, YouTube, or any other digital hellhole. That source can be different for anyone, and as such, prevents us all from agreeing to a set of rules.
Yeah, because people all got their opinions from the same place before, and there were no arguments.
Also, yeah, you got your information from a shitty source. What did you think was gonna fucking happen? Jesus Christ.
That brings us back to Tarantino's ideas about cinema. At the end of the day,
The
the
ones
reason
that you
35mm
put in his
film
head,
killed
that
the
you
Nazis
said.
Wait,
Remember,
what's he
these are not
saying?
actually his ideas, these are yours.
is by virtue of an appeal to that ruling center. Cinema was a defining force of culture and brought with it narratives and ideals. Now, this isn't always good, i.e. Riefenstahl and the Nazis, but for the most part, movies serve to cement the ideas that define society, where once cinema was able to relay these...
Except in those cases of propaganda, but other than that, cinema served to like enforce the ideals and cohesiveness of society. It's like no. That propaganda was explicitly like purpose built to do the exact same thing, but for a society that like was at war with what you hold to be good ideals. So what he's advocating for is like propaganda, but in the other direction. He's literally pulling a no, but it's okay when we do it.
Of course he is.
These critical social messages, now that we're all suffering from a severe case of robotism, not so much. So with this cultural acceleration well underway and all of us seeing and feeling the effects of robotism, what does that mean for our good buddy Quentin? After all, this is the man...
I just like that he keeps saying tism.
Robotism. It's like some shitty over the counter like
it sounds like a
Robitussin
slur for people who have autism.
No, it sounds like Robitussin, which isn't that like a gastro fucking thing? I don't know.
Shoots all of his movies on film and even resisted letting them be digitally screened. He's a ferocious defender of the theater experience and the history of film, yet his thesis on the power of cinema seems no longer relevant.
Not his thesis.
So, what's an auteur to do? Well, step one is adapt, and against all odds, we can see Tarantino doing exactly that. He just released his latest film, The Hateful Eight, as a 4-part miniseries on Netflix. Just a few years ago, this would have been unthinkable for him. Yet
also, no, don't do that. We haven't even talked about
Hateful Eight. Breaking the movie up that way was like, I don't get that. I don't think that's a good idea.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Yet, here we are. Even Tarantino is seeing the future and making choices to keep his voice a part of the culture going forward. But he's not all the way done with the past either. His next and allegedly second to last film is set in 1969, a time when cinema was inarguably a central cultural ritual of America. It raises the question if Tarantino's love of the past and disdain for the future will play a part in that story. Will it just be nostalgia for a time Tarantino better understood? Is it just an inroad to an unlimited buffet of film references? Or will he acknowledge that maybe film isn't as powerful as he thought it would be and show us a different perspective on cinema, one that accounts for the changes he didn't see coming? Either way, we can't wait to see how Tarantino's latest work fits into our ever-fracturing world.
That was fucking stupid.
That's what you end on.
Jesus, that got more exhausting than what went on. Everything about just the logical framework used to conceive of the ideas in this video is broken at its very first step.
Like, do you honestly like see like movies like through that lens? Oh, I can't wait to see how this fits into our ever fracturing culture.
It's like, dude, do you hear yourself when you talk?
Jesus, calm down. It's a movie.
Close the watch together. That was actual pain.
Yeah, I struggled to stay awake on that. Jeez.
I thought he was gonna be like, oh no, it's historically inaccurate, which would have probably just been like, okay.
Like, yeah.
It would have made for a shorter walkthrough instead of trying to actually like decode that.
Yeah, at least he would have been talking about the actual fucking film.
And he would have been able to make statements that were accurate because they're based on recorded history.
Yes.
Yeah, well, fuck's sake. And with that, we're gonna go ahead and end the stream. We'll thank you all for watching. We'll see you all next